Howdy, everyone.
Hello.
You might see some disconnect and reconnect happen here, so give me a second because we're changing our connection.
See if I can get on here.
Reconnecting, okay. All right, we're back. It's taking us a couple minutes to get this connected the way that we want it to be connected, and we got to turn off some air conditioners and stuff like that.
Oh boy.
So you got it on there?
Trying. Just slow.
All right, let's turn off the air conditioner. At least in here.
Yeah.
And Heidi's trying to do her thing. Hey, a little quieter.
Yeah, I can't get on.
All right, let me get Heidi straightened out. Where's your mouse?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, there. It's slowly. Slowly. Oh, there. It's slowly. Slowly.
It's not. Is it working okay for you?
It's just really slow.
Is your computer trying to update or do anything weird?
I don't think so.
So is it uploading?
Yeah, it won't. It takes me to the YouTube page and that's it.
Well, close it all out and get back in it
I've
again.
done it several times.
Is it trying to do an
It's
update?
trying. Oh, no.
Are you connected to the
There
close?
we go.
Is it working okay?
Right now it is. It's just slow. This is the first time I got to the page.
All right. You know what's funny? I have no clue where my phone is. Do you know? Bear with us, guys. This is a little bit normal for us if you haven't seen any of our live chats before. But I don't remember where I did with my phone, Hyde. Do you?
Mm-mm. It's a little blurry. Video sound is good. Michael can't find his phone. I'll have to call him.
I left it at the bar.
Are you kidding me?
It's on the ledge.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my.
It's already up there, but I guess I'll go get it.
Give them a call. Call the bar.
I was walking to get it.
So, we had lunch with Kevin and Christy. Hey guys, if you're seeing this, probably not yet. You guys probably are getting back to your campsite. And I remember putting my phone on the ledge of the restaurant that's up here, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, I don't remember having my phone. Hopefully nobody took it. There's a lot of information on that thing. I'm going to change her internet connection because she's right. This is very slow for her. It's going to take me a second. But I can see your guys' chat. I'm glad that everything seems good on your end. Yeah, I should have, we should change another, we should go to a different connection. All right, we'll try to connect her to the same internet that we're broadcasting on, which shouldn't be a problem. Our internet speed's pretty darn fast, but I was trying to get her. I was trying to actually get her on a different network. So, yeah, it looks like her stuff's speeding up now. So on your end, is the picture okay? Does it look all right? Are you guys seeing us in a decent quality? Howdy, guys. Yep, Steve. He says he's the first one. John. Video and sound good. Awesome. Have the mic pop out. No problem. It's working. Good, 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 good. I see you in here. Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Vincent, hello. Heidi normally takes care of all these comments, so it's kind of different for me. Looks good and clear. Great, great, great. Yeah, we were operating on a different audio initially, and then I kind of changed some things here near the end. It's kind of funny because life and sad ending. Okay, good, awesome. We, like I said, we were at the restaurant earlier, and I set my phone up on the ledge out of the way, which when I set it down, I thought that might be something that I should not do. Heidi has a, you know what? She doesn't even realize it, but she can do a location on my phone. She could have seen exactly where it was, because I can do that with her and our son too. We keep it. We all know each other, where each other's at. Forgive my scratching here, because I have obviously some itching going on from the infamous mosquitoes, which wouldn't be Florida without bugs. Where do you get your shirts? That's a good one. Rima, R-I-M-A. You know what? I don't know if I have an affiliates with them or not. I don't think I do. I should set up an affiliates. Yeah, Rima, R-I-M-A. Don't be afraid of them. They're a legitimate company. I've been ordering with them for years. They will come. It comes just slow mail. It comes from India. All the shirts come from India. And they're packaged. When you get it, you're like, there's no way there's 7 shirts in here. And they are. They do this real nice fold. These are double XLs, and they are plenty big enough. If you live in a hot climate, or, you know, if it's above 70 degrees, it's okay. But if it's 80 degrees or warmer, you won't even know you have a shirt on. These things are very lightweight, very, very lightweight. They're very, very thin. I love them. So R-I-M-A, that's the name of the company, Rima. And they usually have sales and stuff like that. There's quite a few different ones. I go through usually probably once a year, and see what kind of new designs they have and order a bunch of them. Sully, what's happening, Sully? Will you go out with snow, or go without snow this year? Fingers crossed. You know, I said that last year, and unfortunately we went early. So, yeah, I'm going to say it again. See if I'm wrong again. Yeah, I'm not going to see snow this year for the first time since 1977. That's be the first time. I'm sorry, 1976. That was the last time from when I was born to 1976, I never seen snow. And then we moved to Ohio, and didn't make a difference when I was home on leave, whatever. It didn't. Every time I came home on leave, it seemed like it snowed. And then last year, I said I'm not going to see snow this year for the first time ever since in this case, 76. And unfortunately, we went back to Ohio a little bit too early, and we seen that snow. Seems weird not having Heidi here fielding all this. I have a little bit of a headache today. I'm not sure. It is 8:35 a.m. here in South Australia, so may have to go. No problem. Glad you could stop in. Yeah, it's 6:12 in the evening here. The sun's just starting to go down. Where do you plan in early January? We're headed to Florida, 8 to 10 days. Early January, we are in Vero Beach. Yeah, definitely. Rima Classic or Classic? These are real thin. This is the Classic Rima. I'll tell you how I found out about this company. I was probably in 2005, I think it was, or 2006, somewhere around there. I take that back. It might have been 2007. Heidi and I had gone to, like we always do. We always go to Goodwill. We love going through Goodwill. And they had there was a nice shirt there. It was a double X, and it was thin. And I told Heidi, I said, I like the design. It's this whole Hawaiian design thing or whatever. I said, I like it. I said, it was real cheap. And I bought it. And it seemed like every family gathering or get together that we had, that it was hot outside in the middle of the summer, I would grab that shirt and put it on because it was always nice and cool. And it's comfortable, very comfortable, very, very comfortable. So that's what I did. Realizing then at that point, hey, I need to get more than one shirt. So I grabbed the tag and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to type this in. And this company came up and I'm like, I don't know. It's over in India. And I felt real strange about it. But I went ahead and ordered like 3 shirts, I think, at the time. The more you order, you get a discount, that kind of thing. And was it sitting there still?
No.
Who had it?
The guy that waited on us the first night.
Patrick? Or no, the young guy?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, she got her phone. Yeah, these guys, I don't know what his name is. People that work up there is really nice. That's awesome. I was going to say you could do a location on this.
I did.
Oh, did you?
I said it says that my husband's phone is right here. And he says, have you been calling it a bunch of times? I called it 4 times on my way up there.
Yeah.
And I said, yep.
So it was going back.
He said, Heidi from Ohio.
Yeah. So going back to having those 3 shirts, I ordered them, I got them, and they were perfect. They were still the right size, everything. I think I bought 2 more after that or 3 more after that. So I had like 6. Okay. So then came 2017. So 10 years later, I'm sorry. No, we ordered like those 6 shirts in 2010.
Long time ago.
Yeah. So I had those 6 shirts. They wear very well. They don't wrinkle. They're easy to wash. They dry fast. I mean, there's nothing. They're great. They're great shirts. Never had buttons fall off, seams come apart, or anything. In 2017, I went from 240 some pounds or 250 pounds down to 215 pounds. And I was swimming. These shirts, I was swimming in them. They were so big. So I went ahead and I sold them all. I decided to sell all of them. And we sold them actually to a lady she worked with, her husband, because they were going to go on a cruise. And he's like, oh, these are perfect shirts for a cruise. I'm like, yeah, they're awesome. And then after 2018, all the weight started coming back on again. So I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy any smaller ones, but I went ahead and I I kept one, the original one. I still have it, the one that I got from the Goodwill. And then I went ahead and bought, a bunch. And then I just bought a bunch more before we hit the road because they're lightweight. They're perfect. I love it. I've been hearing a dog bark for roughly
About 4 hours.
4 hours. Gotta love that.
Bill and his wife, they are starting tomorrow, full time.
Yes. Yeah, we've run into some girly. So we got to give shout outs to people that we've run into here. Well,
Marty,
Marty,
Marty and Debbie.
yeah, Marty and Debbie
Emmerich.
You'll see those guys' names pop up occasionally. He's always commenting.
David Gillis.
Yeah, David, where do that
He was
was?
over. Sorry, he was.
Yeah, he was
lost,
yeah.
parked.
He was parked just the side over from us.
Kevin and Christy Roberts. They just left here.
Yeah, they just left. Like I said, hey guys, I'm sure you're not back at the house yet, but they live in the area, so they wanted to stop by.
David's here.
Hey, what's happening, David?
That's cool.
But it's kind of cool. So yeah, I guess we should talk about that on some level. If you guys are,
Pat Chambers, brother-in-law. He
Yeah.
didn't give us his name.
yeah,
He stopped by here.
right. But yeah, don't stop by, say hi. I mean, that's our thing. I mean, that's kind of why we're out here, so we can, meet people and just. That's why we always say, hope to see you out here at the end of our videos, because we like to see you out here at some point. So it's kind of like an encouragement, hope to see you out here doing full-time stuff, but, on your own terms. But yeah, we enjoy meeting people. Hi guys from Three Flags. You're at Three Flags right now. Yeah, we'll be there. Waiting for our 2608 to be built.
Sweet.
It was funny because we were just talking,
Kevin and Christy.
and they said they were that close to getting the 2608. And of course, Jay Hetty heading my way, he got the 2608. It was a close. We went back and forth a lot on that one. We definitely went back and forth on it.
Do you have the air on?
I have the air on in the bedroom, but you know how it's always real nice and cool in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't kicked on yet.
Okay, I'll wait a little bit.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I literally just walked to the office twice.
Yeah, we had our daughter ship us some a FedEx package, and we forgot to go pick up our FedEx package. It's got all our mail and stuff in it, prescriptions, stuff like that. And Heidi, whenever she was coming in, she goes, "Hey, it shows it was delivered. Should I go up there?" I said, "Yeah, go ahead. We need it because tomorrow we're leaving here. We're leaving out of here tomorrow." And I mean, now we can't leave real early. We got to make sure the office is open, which I think they opened kind of early anyways.
8:30.
8:30, yeah. But anyways, we don't have to leave early tomorrow. We have a very short trip down A1A or US 1 or 95. I don't know which way we're going to take yet, but we have just an hour and a half drive to our next spot, and we're going to be there for 21 days. So we'll get to show you that campground. We did do that ride through just the other day, the ride through the campground. It's pretty much all we're going to do on the campground here as far as going over everything. I know that might be disappointing to some, but there was no reason we didn't. The campground's great.
We got lazy.
I think that was it. I honestly don't know why we didn't do it. There is no excuse. Like she said, maybe we just got lazy. But there's some nice stuff at the campground. The laundry room is nice. Heidi did the laundry there. They do change. There's change in the lawn at the office. They have a nice office. Everybody's very polite. There is a store there, a very small store, but you can go up and buy a pop or whatever,
And beer.
ice cream and beer. They got beer there.
A couple of candy bars.
Fishing gear, some fishing gear, some RV gear, and some apparel. We have the bar grill that had the food's really all the food was pretty good there. We had a lot of different food. We had fish one night. We had I didn't have any burgers though.
I had the burger. I had a mushroom burger.
Oh, that's right.
That one night. It was pretty good.
The fries are good. We had tacos. They were good. They have a smoky fish dip with these deep fried chips or something. Those were good. Yeah, it was. It's a nice place. Of course, the pool is there. They have live bands on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
And they have karaoke on, I think, Tuesdays.
Yes.
They have Taco Tuesdays here. They also have a boat launch that's in the back. They have a pier that goes out into the intercoastal waterway. You can fish down there. They have a fish cleaning station. They have a community fire pit up there. They don't have fire rings at the campsites. Instead, at the campsites here, they have charcoal grills. The campsites, there's different levels. There's different pricing based on if you've got Passport America or not. We had Passport America. I mean, we should have walked through though, but I'll tell you, other than maybe a couple of corner sites, I didn't see any site that I wouldn't want to be at. Every site here is pretty nice.
Ask for a shaded spot if you want shaded.
Yeah.
There's some that aren't shaded, but
because it's you're so close to the ocean, so close to the intercoastal waterway, we found out from the gentleman that just came through here that this park could flood in spots if it
2 feet. He said.
Yeah, he says if hurricanes come aboard or on land. So,
Here,
can you talk about why you switched trucks so fast? I was trying to figure out get a different truck, 29-inch current one. Full transparency, 100%. Full transparency on that. I had there's a few legitimate reasons, and then a few other reasons that you probably does not apply to you whatsoever. We bought that truck, and the fuel tank was 36 gallons. I had range anxiety a little bit because I was coming from a truck that had 57 gallons of fuel on it. And I've always had dual tank trucks going way back. So no longer could I just drive until I got to a quarter of a tank and then switch to the other full tank, run that to empty, and know I can go back to that quarter of a tank on the first tank that we used to get to the gas station. I mean, you learn how to, you have a driving habit that you've been doing for 11 years, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It was hard to get used to. Even though the truck had great power, nothing wrong with it, good gas mileage, everything about it's fine. That's one reason. The other reason was I kind of wanted the 7.3 because it was an old school engine. I wanted to try it out. I heard good things about it. The early initial release of them, the people that were getting them, the testing that was being done on it, everybody was real excited about it. They said it was a good engine. Everything I read about it was a good engine. I took a chance because it was first model year, and I'm happy that I did because I got the 10-speed transmission, and it's a great engine. I'm very happy about that. Also, we got a crew cab, which I didn't want, but that's the only way you can get the 48-gallon tank. So I have a 48-gallon tank. So I can drive a lot. It also costs a lot whenever we fill it up, but I can drive a lot. All right, so those are things that may apply to you or may not apply to you. I mean, as far as that goes. Now, I'll tell you something that doesn't apply to you most likely at all. And that is because of us and our livelihood being a travel vlog or a travel blog or a YouTube channel that has to do with RVing and traveling and all that. We had a influx of income, and we needed to write off for taxes, and those vehicles can be wrote off. So that's basically another reason. Again, a lot of that probably doesn't pertain to you, but we write off a lot of our purchases based on the fact that it's used for us to generate income for our channel. So yeah, it was a write-off to go into a new truck. There was a loss. We could declare somewhat of a loss going from one to the other. Some depreciation was involved. What I'm saying, and again, because of an income influx that was happening based on some financial movements that we made, we used that against the income to knock down our taxes on that income. So that was the other reason. But I think mainly it's because I wanted that 7.3. I wanted to try it out. And the big gas tank.
It out,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
trying it out. I'm wearing it out. So yeah. My glasses are a little crooked. Or no, you got I think it's this. No, that's not it either. Maybe it's turned sideways or something. I'm having a hard time seeing that today. Sorry I'm late, no problem. It seems dual tanks from the factory was largely available on energy crisis era trucks for the most part, but Ford did it until the late 90s. Yeah, the dual tanks are awesome. I think dual tanks should still be out there. I really like that. I mean, I'll tell you the other thing you can do with dual tanks, which a friend of mine used to do with his Ford Lightning pickup, the old body style Lightning from, I think he had a 92. He run premium gas in the one tank and he ran the cheap gas in the other. And he had a performance chip module thing that he could flip between two programs. So whenever he needed performance fuel and a performance program for like racing his Lightning, he could flip it over and he could flip the tank over and run premium fuel. And then whenever he's just driving around every day, he could run on the cheap stuff, which on a premium tune, on a premium performance vehicle, I guess if you're just driving it every day, it will adjust itself as long as you don't get rid of the knock sensors or anything, and you don't override anything as far as timing wise that the truck will do whenever it senses knock. I mean, you can run cheap gas in it. It's just, it's nice. I mean, you have two separate tanks. I liked it just for running it until it was empty. That was what I liked it for the most. This is the craziest thing.
What's that?
Hey, Carla and Ken. Be in Florida in January. Awesome. It has not changed from 22.
Oh, really?
Not at all. Do you think that's accurate?
I don't know.
I went ahead and signed you up to the other internet.
Oh, is it kind of slow?
Yeah, it was just too slow.
It says started streaming 2 minutes ago, so.
Oh, that's what the problem is. See if you can do a refresh on the screen. We're going to refresh real quick, guys. It ain't going to affect you guys watching us. It's just going to affect us seeing it. Okay, there we go. 28 minutes ago. Good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Look, it just jumped up again.
Yeah.
I think we had some topics that we wanted to touch on. Nothing groundbreaking. You want to wait a little bit, though? And we'll have a little bit more people jump on here.
That's cool.
Be right back.
We'll see Amy and George and
oh, they're leaving for the Keys on the 3rd.
But we'll see him in Orlando.
Oh, good. Good. That's awesome. I think we got them all.
Cool.
Oh, I got a bit of a headache today.
Well, it's because we didn't eat dinner. We did eat lunch.
Yeah, we ate lunch. It was a good lunch. I like that.
But
As I left my phone there. I knew whenever I set it there, I knew it. When I sit at the table that we sat at, there's a ledge because there's windows. There's windows around the whole place. You can see. Well, on the other side of the bar, it's all open to the pool area, so everybody from the pool can walk up and get their drinks. But we were sitting near the windows, and there's a ledge there, and I'm like, this is kind of the way. I'll just set it here. And duh.
Yeah, I was walking up and I'm like, I hit your location, and
I said
it
that on
said
the
50 feet away, and I'm like, yep, it's at the bar still. So I looked where we were sitting, and it was not sitting there, and it was kind of busy.
Zeta. Dave, hello from southern New Mexico. We like southern New Mexico. What campground are you going to next? It's
Rose Bay
Rose Bay. It's
RV
a
Resort,
Encore.
Port Orange.
Port Orange. Yeah, they call it Daytona, but it's Port Orange. Yeah, it's looks like a decent park. And the funny thing is I was trying to get an idea of, because they told us what site we're going to be at, which I've never had that happen before. And I think when we get there, something's going to change. Could be wrong. I might be pleasantly surprised. I don't know. But I decided to look to see if we could figure out where that site number was. And we looked at, like we do with our stuff, we looked at somebody else's video. And the guy says, oh, there's our site. And it just so happened they're in the exact same site that we are currently assigned to.
That's cool.
Welcome back to Florida. Yeah, back in Florida. Thank God. When Mike did the Red on the Beach story. Yeah, the scooter. Hey, Herbie's here.
Pictures of your kids and grand in your rig. Oh, we don't. We have them on our phone, but we don't actually have any pictures developed.
No.
We have some artwork that the kids did.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely have to get some pictures. For sure.
Maybe.
I have a lot of pictures that I'd love to just get developed, and it would cost a fortune. But I'd love to get developed to save for Lincoln.
When I went to Encore in Orlando, they told me the site number 2. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's kind of,
You know,
I don't think that we would have normally got that site number, but we were trying to get something else going. We were making calls to 1,000 Trails, that's all. And that's how we got it. So I don't know if it'll work or not. You guys are living my dream. Hubs and I 4 more years. Oh, yeah. 4 more years. That was our thing. We started off, if you guys remember, been with us a long time, we had a 9 to 10 year plan, because I said that I was probably going to be in my late 50s, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to be in my late 50s if we went the full plan. And I think where I misjudged to where our plan started getting faster was our focus. You know, when you start focusing on what you want and you actually start making decisions with that goal clearly in mind, you don't go outside the lines. All of a sudden, things start lining up faster than you expected. Sometimes there's some stuff that will slow you down. You think should be smooth, and it doesn't go as smooth as you thought. But there's a lot of things that just start falling in place. And I think that if anybody that's willing to start going, that's wanting to plan on going full time, honestly full time, and going to sell your house or however you're going to do it, I think most people are selling their homes, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of people are.
Which, don't be afraid of that. I mean, it's just a house. I'm sure, like I said, Heidi's house, it was in her family for 75 years. It had been in her family. And you have any regret? I don't have any regret at all. I mean, I was there
Maybe
for 20 years.
Maybe a little, but
just because,
a little.
And you know why? Because it was a house. Just a house. It would be nice to just have a house as a base, I think. That's for me. What's your little regret?
Just because it was family.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's first I heard a little bit.
You never asked.
It's true. But the thing is I say, if you're definitely wanting to do it, 2 things. Quit buying stuff that has nothing to do with RVing, full-time RVing. I'm not talking camping. I'm talking full-time RVing on the road. Quit buying whatever piece of furniture you see at the yard sale, whatever thing that's on sale at the local storage, Piggly Wiggly or whatever you have in your area. You know, whatever. Just don't buy anything unless you say, how's this going to work in our RV? You got to have that in your mind. And secondly, start downsizing and getting rid of the stuff that isn't going to work for the RV. Just start downsizing everything now. If you start working on that stuff, it'll make it a lot easier whenever it gets, you know, push comes to shove and you run into like us. Okay, I'll ask her this because I never asked her this. Do you have any regret getting rid of any of that stuff that we got?
Some of the stuff that was the kids. I did take some pictures of it, but I wish I would have kept it because he kept his childhood stuff.
Oh, no. I have just as much tote wise as she does.
We'll see about that.
Oh, no. I knew. I'm positive.
No.
But
that's a lie.
But as far as all the other stuff, all the downsizing,
I'm fine with it. I just, honestly, I'm moved past that, and I don't really think it, I don't like talking about it, I guess.
Really? What is it that you...
I don't know. It's just in the past and it's done with. And
yeah, but I don't think that... I don't have a problem with any of the stuff I got rid of on any level.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's little difference. What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, I think just people are talking out there.
But yeah, I was very, very happy to get rid of everything that we got rid of. Every single thing.
Now, we do not keep a storage unit.
No.
We have like 6. I don't even think we have 6 totes.
At our daughter's house.
Yeah, I don't think we have 6
I don't
totes.
think there's 6 there.
I think there's 4 and a Christmas tree.
Yeah, and honestly, some of that stuff is just theirs. It's something that we're leaving them once we pass away. It's theirs or our grandsons. So it's just there. I don't even know what's there that... Do you see? This is the thing. And it still pertains. How much? We don't even know what the stuff is we have there. I honestly, other than a couple of specific things, I don't know what's there. Some heirlooms that are there. And what else? What else is in those totes? Do you remember anything?
I don't really think, honestly, that there's much of my stuff in those totes.
I don't remember anything of really my stuff there either.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you got your bowling thing for your hands there. Yeah. I don't know what got shoved in those. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't hardly remember. So anyways, I think overall it's safe to say that why would we miss anything that we got rid of? Because we don't even remember what we kept. And I definitely don't remember half the stuff we got rid of. Do you?
Yeah, we got rid of a lot of stuff.
Well, we got rid of everything. But what I'm saying is...
You don't remember none of it.
I hardly remember any of it. Do you?
I remember it because of selling it. and actually going through the garage and the basement and the house, you know.
Well, I remember the tools.
I mean, some of the stuff
in the garage and the tools.
We seen a lot until we got rid of it. But anyway.
Something we don't need. We didn't need it.
Well, we don't have it, so.
Yeah, we didn't need it either.
We have bought stuff again. Not a lot.
Yeah. Just
not a lot. Not a lot at all, actually. Just like a stapler we had to buy.
Yep.
And we had to buy a PEX tool.
Well, we didn't have that
in the house, right? So.
Oh, I know something that we sold and we miss. We don't have the room for it. Maybe we'll have the room for it in the future at some point in time. But definitely, I wish we kept our printer. We had a really nice printer. It was one that uses a toner cartridge. It was a Brother. It was flawless. It was a workhorse. It did everything we wanted. It faxed. It was an all-in-one. It was a scanner. It was a fax. It didn't do color, but it was awesome. Anyways, we got rid of it because of its size. We didn't really have a place for it. And crap, if I haven't needed it at least 6 times. Getting a nasty odor. You get a nasty
It's
odor when
the
you turn on the sink. He said when he turns on the sink. When I turn on my sink in the bathroom, I'm getting a nasty odor. Not always. There's something I can get to pour in the gray tank to clean other bleach. You're not smelling necessarily.
put your head underneath the sink and see if it
Uh,
smells.
you may not be smelling your
Or
gray
the
tank.
shower.
No, she may not be smelling gray tank.
Oh, that's true.
When we turn on our shower and our to get in the shower, our water smells weird every time we get in the shower. And I think it's just to do with the water being stored in a bunch of plastic. The filter in the RV, the shower head, the hose, the lines, maybe the hose outside, maybe our filters and softeners and stuff. I don't know. But when we first turn on our water and we start showering with it, the water smells kind of funny. And then it kind of goes away. In a short amount of time, it goes away. But definitely identify the water where the smell's coming from, because it took us a long time to figure out that our positive ventilation valves, whatever you want to call them, which I did a video on that. They're just crappy from the factory. So I put some good aftermarket ones on there, some good, decent ones, which again, it was covered in the videos which one we used. And they're real easy to do. You just unscrew and screw on the new ones, and then that's it. We didn't have that smell at all. She could be smelling, I guess, if you're running. See, the thing is if she's turning on her water, she is forcing water into the gray tank, and maybe it is venting a little bit, possibly initially. I guess that could be it. The smells from the gray tank, I don't think that, it could come from the drains. If your drain is not, if you don't have a good P-trap, or maybe your P-trap's got some solids in it or something that needs cleaned out. But I know we had problems with smell in our RV. Man, thinking back, I'm so glad we fixed that, right? But we put those vent valves on there, the new ones, and got rid of the factory ones. The factory ones just weren't that good, that's all. And they were letting smell out, and it was sometimes pretty bad. And that was it. It fixed any smell that we have. Like I said, other than the water, just a little bit of water, we could do it. High iron content, smelly. Oh yeah, sulfur. It's not a sulfur smell though. Now, we did have a sulfur smell the other night, remember? But yeah, it's not we don't have a sulfur smell. It's just it's an odd smell. I don't know what it is. And I don't know. We've gotten used to it. I'll tell you what, it's about as inconvenient as when you turn on your gas furnace. When it first fires up, there's always some kind of a weird smell that you smell from it. It's like, why can't you get rid of that smell? Everything's new. You're thinking, oh, maybe that's it. It just needs to cook everything because it's new. But
Yep,
it
the
still
smell
does
could
it.
be the P-trap. You might have to undo it and clean it out because some of that stuff gets stuck in there.
Yeah. I don't know, though. The P-trap shouldn't be empty. Since she runs water. High in iron content. Our bathroom sink, actually. Herbie says we'll have more room. Herbie. Did your days go down to 21 at a time? Yes and no. They are. We have reservations on the books. So we are allowed to do 28 days for the reservations we currently have. But, from now on, any reservations we make at Thousand Trails, the longest we can go is 21. If we want to stay longer, though, we can pay $29 to stay another week. So that gives us 28. And we can do that twice a year. If it's high use, if it's a high use park, it costs $99 for us to stay another week. Here's the thing. If it's a high use park, though, you can't do more than 2 weeks anyways with Thousand Trails. That's the longest you can reserve. But as far as do we miss it? No, actually, we hardly used that 28 day. Last year we used it in Wildwood, and we used it do we even make Orlando the whole time, or is that when we ducked off and went to Lazy Days?
No, we stayed at Orlando the whole time.
Okay. So other than Wildwood last year and Lazy Days, I'm sorry, Orlando last year. So other than those 2,000 trail parks, we never stayed 28 days anywhere else, even though we could. It just 21's 21 days is pretty decent. Like I said, we can add a week if we want to.
Don't y'all get sick of staying at one place for 2 weeks?
Yeah, sometimes some of these places we get in, it's like, oh man, how much longer are we going to be here? When is our reservations? And then that's when we sit. I sit in my chair, Heidi sits in her chair, and we start going through our phones and looking at locations and like, well, we could go here and we could swing this, and why don't we stay here for a week? That's kind of why we're here. We were at the other place, we were there a week, and it's like, I don't know if I want to do 2 weeks here. So we came here, and I'm very happy. I could definitely do.
This is a nice
I
park.
could do 2 to 3 weeks here,
Yeah.
no problem. Maybe even a month.
Yeah.
Now, I could see actually if it wasn't for the weather getting cold, because I mean we are in St. Augustine, and yes, it still gets chilly at night. And the reason I know that, the guy that's right out here, he's here year round, and he has insulation all over his hoses. So I'm sure he's got heat tape and everything, because it will drop down cold enough where stuff could freeze. If it wasn't for that, this would be a great place to spend a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. The beach is so close. But as soon as it starts getting cold, am I going to the beach now? No. Same with Vero Beach. We love Vero Beach, but I mean, when it's cold, obviously, we ain't going to go to the beach. I mean, we might say hi to it, but that's about it. We're not going to actually go to the beach. We don't really do anything at the beach anyways. You know, it's not like we go out and I surf. You know, I guess I could. I should pick up surfing, huh?
No, that's okay.
Yeah, why not? I was doing that sidewalk surfing with that scooter. Yeah, you guys have no idea how unsafe that scooter is. Man, is it fun, though. It's a blast. Oh, hey, there's Juanita. Hi, Juanita. Say hi to Greg. Oh, we get back to old Diamond Cells, North Carolina. Cars may stay longer. Yeah. Yeah, some of the places we go, though, excuse me, we feel pretty comfortable. We like it. And I like to like camp out then. I don't know. At some point I like to become a fixture where we're at. I like, you know, getting up in the morning, having a routine, starting to do some sort of a routine. Sometimes that works, sometimes it don't. Sometimes I don't feel that way at all. Sometimes I'm just like, let's get out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like the routine I'm in. I think that's what it is. I like the routine here. I'll have to say, though, the routine that we have going here currently is not conducive to saving money. We do like to eat out. There's lots of restaurants that we haven't explored up and down this street. Now it is nice. The truck, hopefully it starts. We only drove it out of here one day, right? Where did we go?
Walmart.
Oh yeah, we
Grocery
went to
shopping.
Walmart. Yeah. Yeah. It's like after the first day that we were here. We went to Walmart. And other than that, this truck's been sitting out here the whole time. We haven't moved it.
Probably should start it.
Yeah, we should start. I mean, we won't start when we need it to start tomorrow. He said we're way too old for those scooters.
It's funny.
Oh, I'm probably too old for it too, but it's a lot of fun. Reminds me whenever I was a kid, I used to ride all that crap. So you take off on the scooter, it looks like it hit some good power. Yeah. Yeah, if I have both motors on it, it spins the front tire if I'm just at a dead stop. And I don't even have it on, I have it on soft. I have it on the soft launch. If I have it on a power launch, man, I don't know what that thing would do. But yeah, if I'm standing on it with all my weight, and it weighs 70 pounds already, and if I'm on it and I pull that trigger, the spring compresses in the back and uncompresses on the front, and that front tire spins. I mean, I don't care if I'm on pavement or not, it spins.
It's for sale.
Yeah, we're gonna sell that thing. I'm gonna sell it because I want to utilize the bike more, definitely. And it's
Kimberly Richardson's got a question about Wi-Fi on the road, so you want to talk about that?
Wi-Fi on the road.
Yeah, Easycom
Oh,
has a friend that's going full time.
so the best thing I could suggest that you do is talk with Easycom direct. Let them know, for obvious reasons, we have some sort of association with them. Let them know that you spoke with Mike or Heidi at RV Daydream. Just say RV Daydream in general. When you call out there, you're going to get Jesse or Todd. I don't know if there's another. I think he's got somebody else working for him too,
Yeah.
but Jesse or Todd, any of them, and just say, hey, I watch Mike or Heidi at RV Daydream. They keep on talking about your company, whatever. Just say easy. It's Easycom. The links in all our descriptions, so you can see the link that you need to click to get there. And that way they know you're an RVer. Just let them know what you're wanting to do. They will walk you through it. I mean, this is for people that want homes units too, that want to get rid of their internet that they're paying for from like Spectrum or Brightworks or Comcast or whoever it is you have. Let them know what you're trying to do, and he can tell you if it'll work or not, and he'll tell you what it will cost. I wish I knew about this back whenever I first started dealing with Time Warner Cable, which now is Spectrum. But man, the internet was a pain, and it wasn't fast. I had, and it's like they wanted to keep on charging you more and more. At that point in time, they would raise their prices just to raise their prices. I remember I signed up for a plan, and they said, oh yeah, lock in this price. This is a guaranteed, you'll have a guaranteed price savings of so much, you're guaranteed to save $50 to go with this plan for the next 2 years. Well, after the first year, they raised the price. So I got up to them and I said, well, I called them up and I'm like, well, how is this a guaranteed, price lock? And they said, no, that's a guaranteed savings lock. I'm like, what are you talking about? They said, you're guaranteed you're going to save $50 off of the normal price. Just so happened the normal price went up, but you're still saving $50 because it would be normally this. And I said, that is the biggest. Oh my God. I really went off on that one. And, yeah, I said, I've never heard anything like that. That's like that. So I was giving the business. I'm like, so you're telling me I'm getting 50% off a 100% markup? This is awesome.
Do you have to rotate your tires and change your brakes often? Do you get special brake pads?
On the trailer?
Looks like
on the truck?
Well,
on our truck, we just take it to Ford because they have a service thing that we pay for. They pull the calipers off, they sandblast them to get them clean. They re-lubricate everything. They put them back on. They check the pads. They have like a 21-point lube thing and all that stuff. Plus, since we had a warranty, they look at other things. Our batteries didn't pass a test. I didn't even know we had a problem with the batteries. They replaced both batteries under a warranty. But we just we'll pay for that service because they're the experts. And so far, I have not had to change the brake pads on the truck, even though I drive kind of like the way I drive. I downshift and I look way up the road when I'm driving. I mean, I pay attention to that stuff. Even with my old truck, I would very rarely have to go through brake pad. My brake pads last a long time. I always downshift, whenever I'm getting ready to slow down, use the engine, that kind of thing. And then rotating the tires. Yeah, we rotate the tires whenever
Tires aren't worth rotating though.
Those tires suck. I mean, they're noisy.
We're on the second set, so
Yeah, they. I don't like those tires. I wish
we
we had
wouldn't
the.
recommend them.
I wish I had the Michelin Defenders. Definitely. When we got the 2019 truck, I told her, man, I wish these had the Michelin Defenders on them, because that's what I had on my 97. That's what I had on my 95. That's what my son had on his van, and he still has on his van, even though he's put a crap load of miles on there, and he was overloaded. It's a half-ton van, and we put so much weight in there, we had to add a leaf spring to the back, and he has an antiquated front end that does not have any kind of ball joints or anything. He has kingpins that the camber cannot be adjusted on that thing. Anyways, his tires are still fine on his van. He's rotated them, but they're still fine. They're just great tires. They do good in the snow. They're quiet. They got low rolling resistance, even though they're not an LRR tire. They are still considered a green X tire to some extent. They have great wet traction. They're just a great tire. If you look on Tire Rack and you look up Michelin Defenders and you look at the reviews, you're going to hardly find any other tire on there that has the most reviews with the highest rating. It's just, they're great tires. Ford offered those on the trucks. I did not get them on the 2019. So whenever we got this new truck, I immediately man, I wish we had those Michelin Defenders. Now, I was happy with the Goodyear Wrangler Kevlars that we have on there, with one aspect. They did better in the snow than I expected on our 2019. They did a lot better than I expected. Especially since the truck was aluminum. It's lighter, and of course, you're driving rear tires, and the bed don't have much weight on it. But it still did. They did good. They did really a lot better than I thought. We knew we were going to go out west with this truck, and I thought we might be off-road in the desert, boondocking, that kind of thing, especially, quartzite, all that. We didn't do that. I only remember a few times that it was good to have those all-terrain tires, but I'm sure I could have got away with those Michelins. The Michelin Defenders are MS. They're mud and snow. They're just basically a normal street tire that has some characteristics that can handle a little bit more. It's not the ATX. It's not their light all-terrain tire. Looks like it's just a regular tire. Anyways, yeah. So I'm tired of those. I like the Hercules Terra Track. We had Hercules on. We had Hercules tires on our. Isn't that what we put on the Terry camper? Were those Hercules?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But unfortunately, there was the Hercules after they got sold to China, I think. It was prior, because before that
they still did good.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they were good tires. There's nothing wrong.
Do you know of anyone who has switched from Spectrum to Easycom?
Let's see. Do you know anybody who's switched from Spectrum to what you have at home? I'm paying $125 a month for Spectrum, internet, and just online cable. Nothing on any TVs.
That's a good deal if it's working for you.
It all depends on the speeds.
Yeah.
I mean, the router that I have, if you need any speed whatsoever, my plan is awesome. I don't know if he has any more of them. We pay $199 a month for our modem, but it's extremely fast. And in certain networks, it can be or certain areas, it can be really, really fast, because the modem has the ability to take two towers and combine them for faster speed. So if you're close enough to a certain area that you can get a couple of towers, you can actually double up on the speeds to where they're really fast. With that said, we've had speeds with this thing. I don't think I've been any lower than 30, and that was at 20 something, and that was at Paradise Lake And that's out in the middle of nowhere, guys. I mean, that's really rough out there. We had our antenna up, we had it pointed, the whole thing. And it was not fast out there. It's just not fast. It's a bad area. I mean, you have to have an area. It's got towers for it to work real well. But we still got better speed than we did with anything else because we had our Verizon then and another T-Mobile. I'm sorry, another AT&T router. So we had 3 routers out there at the time, and this one still did the best. As soon as we moved to the next location, that was it. I've had anywhere between 50 and over 100 on the download speeds, which is really good for something that you travel with. And we haven't put up the antenna since Paradise.
Yeah,
Was it the last time?
I think so.
Yeah, since Paradise. So since we left Ohio, I haven't had to put the antenna mast outside. I just put the router in the window.
It's funny, we had to put it up a whole bunch of times when we first started. And then there was like 6 or 8 times we didn't have to put it up.
Yeah.
And then we had to put it up a bunch again.
Yeah,
And
it's funny, certain areas.
Yeah, it's funny.
On the road, we use visible phones, unlimited Wi-Fi, $25. Yeah, we have our T-Mobile. I have a phone, obviously. Heidi has a phone, obviously. We have this phone that we're doing this live chat with. That's what we were connected to initially when we first started the live chat. I wanted to flip off it though, because I know our router's pretty good here. So, and she's on the router too. And we're streaming. You see, pictures okay, I guess. We also have our son has a phone that's on our plan, and our Heidi's mom, she has a phone that's on our plan. We have unlimited internet. Me and Heidi both have 5G because we have 5G phones, but it doesn't cost any extra for those. When I say unlimited data, all that stuff, I think when we get up to like 48 gigabytes for the month, they'll send us an automated email that says, hey, you're approaching 50 gigabytes and for the month. And although, you won't be slowed necessarily, you could be slowed if you're in a congested area. You'll be deprioritized. And they basically go into the message. It says, not saying that's going to happen, but it could happen, just to let you know, until your next bill cycle, and then it goes right back to the same thing. So we have 48 gigabytes that we can use any way we want, and they don't ever say anything. But once we get over 48, then we could be deprioritized. That's never happened. We've been up to 70 gigabytes we've used for the month on our phones, and I've never had it deprioritized or slowed down or anything like that. Now, our son, the same thing. Everybody's got the same thing. They all can get to 48 gigabytes. Of course, unlimited text, unlimited whatever. We have some sort of caller ID or something like that. I don't know what that's called. We also get Netflix on us, which we paid $3 because Netflix raised their price. We pay $3 for Netflix a month, and then they pay. T-Mobile pays the rest. What else do we get? Something else is getting ready to change. Oh, we're getting heavily discounted on Google storage. They're setting up an agreement with Google that we get for 2 terabyte. I think it's $20 a month. We haven't started that yet. We're probably going to do that because we need storage for all this stuff that we do. We need some cloud storage, and it'd be nice to have. I have a little storage, but I'd like a lot more. But anyways, we don't pay for that yet. However, all the phones that I talked about and all that stuff, they're all paid for. We pay just over $100 a month. It's $115, I think, a month for 5 lines with all that stuff on it. We're very happy with T-Mobile.
You get a good deal on eye exams in Mexico and glasses.
I'm going to have to say yes.
And I'm going to say no.
Why is that?
Because I priced eyeglasses with the exam, and it's about the same as America's Best. The price.
Now, America's Best for me is kind of like a catch-22. You don't want to pay it, but it's nice when you don't have insurance to just go ahead and pay it and get it over with. When I go in there, I get I plan on getting 2 pairs of glasses with everything that I want on it, and contacts, and my examination, and I plan on spending about $500.
He spent $1,100, I believe, last time
I
for
did?
2 pair.
No, I didn't pay that much. It wasn't 1,100. I think it's because I bought yours.
No, we were separate last time.
Well, we were?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't think it was that much. That seems awful high.
That's not cheap.
But they're nationwide. They honor everything.
Yeah, that's
get free exams for 3 years, and
but I would say they're about the same.
yeah.
Well, and I would say they're about the same. Maybe it's a little different for you because I have high index. I priced my stuff when we were
I didn't
over
see
there.
did I miss something? Because
I
you
don't
told me
think
to talk about something else.
No, I just told you about the internet.
Clock. Probably want to do dessert. What? Generator. You probably want to do desert boondocking, and the more temperature weather. I don't know, because you get used to the temperature to some extent. I mean, in the evenings, I mean, I know this is weird to say because I'm not used to that desert type temperatures, but in the evenings, Heidi and I would go out at around 8:30, about 8:30 at night. If it dropped just below 100 degrees, we could sit outside, and it was very nice if there was a breeze. I mean, it's 100, but it was nice. It wasn't that bad, especially if there was any kind of a breeze. So sleeping in the RV at night, I don't know. I mean, we had our air running, but I don't think we had both air conditioners running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. We would just make sure we turned them on in the morning. We'd make sure both of them were on. As far as running the generator, yeah, I guess. I mean, if we were out boondocking, I don't know. I guess you could. You would run it a little bit more, but like I said, I can for 6 gallons of gas. No, it'd be 7 because the tank was full also. So for 7 gallons of gas, I can do 37 hours running an air conditioner and the refrigerator, which probably I wouldn't run the refrigerator. I'd do propane at that point. But we did our testing on that video, running, I think, the refrigerator and one of the air conditioners, and we went back and forth between the air conditioners, and we did 37 hours. So whatever. What's a gallon of gas now?
$2.89, I think.
$2.89. So what's that times 7? So let's just say $21. So it's $21 to run the generator 37 hours. So it's not, $21 a day. 37 hours, that's basically 40, I guess. We could say that's kind of 40. Nah, not really. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would do it. I guess we could boondock and do that and run it that long. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I always get, like, these are Randy Jackson. And my other ones are Nike.
Got those twice. Randy
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's funny. If you guys go back and look at old videos, I have this pair of glasses. It's not the same ones. I bought another pair. And then same with the Nike. I bought another. I don't know. They work. I just went back and said, you still got them? Like, oh, yeah, I'll buy those again. We need to be in Florida, getting cold in Moab. See, there, yeah. You guys, I'm telling you, that was something that came into our talks whenever Heidi had said, hey, do you want to do courtside? I'm like, yeah, let's do courts. I mean, we really had all intentions of being out there still.
Yeah.
Except for the health stuff that started up, which was weird. I still didn't understand that. But last year when we were in Florida, there was a couple days it got cold. It got chilly. But we literally last year didn't know, is it Florida, Arizona, or Texas? We had those 3. Well, Texas got hammered last year. Thank God we didn't choose Texas. And Arizona, always there's like some dips in the temperature. And I told her, I said, it's kind of cold at night. I said, I don't know if I want to be out there. But again, of course, we get that a little bit here too. Well, not well, especially I would think here, but we're going to be south. We're going to be where? Yeah, Vero Beach. We're going to be Vero. It's subtropical in Vero Beach, so it should be. It's right on the edge. It's about as high as you can go with it still being subtropical. So it should be nice for the most part. But it's January, February, March, April. I mean, it's going to be getting warmer anyways. Where we'll suffer to, and when I say suffer,
we're suffering.
Yeah, we're going to suffer. Wildwood in November, just like last year.
Yeah.
There was a couple of nights it got pretty darn chilly. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we turned on our heating pads on our tanks just in case.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
We did. Well, we had frost on the windshields.
Right. But I think
the truck and the car.
Orlando in December was okay, right?
Yeah. It was actually nice.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
It was pretty warm.
So hopefully it runs into that same pattern again. I love Vero Beach. Lived there for 3 years. Yeah, I think we feel pretty comfortable in Vero Beach. That's why we're kind of stretching it a little bit. Hey, Doug, he's Nevada. Somebody else is from Nevada. I just seen Nevada on here. Remember? Mm-hmm. It was a little bit earlier. They said hello from. Or no, I'm sorry. They're New Mexico. Damn it! It was the other end state. Mike always cranking the AC. Yeah, oh yeah. We was kidding around. I want everybody to answer this before we answer it. When you go to bed at night, and who cares if you're paying the electric or not or whatever, when you go to bed at night, we have an air conditioner that's in the bedroom, and of course one that's out here too. In your RV, what do you set your temperature at on your air conditioner? And do you run a fan? And if you turn on your air conditioner, do you put it on auto to where it turns on and off throughout the night? Or do you have it to where it just runs constantly and the compressor kicks on and on as needed throughout the night to keep the temperature at whatever you set it at? So do you run, what's the way that you run your air conditioner, and what's the temperature that you set it at? And do you run a fan in your bedroom also? I want to hear this. If we purchase fifth wheel equipment, yeah, if we got a fifth wheel, of course a generator would come to mind. I don't know about an Onan though. I think I know they're good generators, and I know how to work on that stuff really easily, but I don't know. I'm thinking.
Why wouldn't we keep the same?
What's that?
Why wouldn't we keep the same?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We already have a generator that'll do the work for us. Yeah. And I feel comfortable with it. Now,
for all that we use it.
Right. Now, what Heidi don't... I would love to have an Onan because it's nice to go over to the wall, push a button, and it starts, and you turn on all your crap. And then when you don't want it to run, you push a button, it shuts off, and you're done, and you can go to the next button. I like that.
That's great when you use it often.
Well, right, but I'm also the one that's out there getting fuel on my hand, plugging in my fuel line, plugging in the cord, running the cord, opening the boxes, closing the box, starting the generator, getting it running. Don't get me wrong, I'm complaining about something that works perfectly. It's just there is a process involved for me to go ahead and hook up and run on the generator. So if it's pouring down the rain and it is 90 degrees in the rig, I wouldn't necessarily want to be outside doing all that stuff when I could just push something on the wall. However, I like the fact that if I have a problem with the generator, it's easy to replace, it's easy to maintain, it's easy to tear apart. It's, there's benefits to having that generator just laying around, But like she said, how much do we use it? We use it a lot whenever we stop for the night boondocking. Excuse me. Wow, I don't know where that came from. But
all right, so
yeah, that's that the I oh, and plus Rockwood, I think in their fifth wheels, I don't think the area up front is really set up to run to have a generator mounted in it. The other thing is most generators, you have to have a fuel source, so they need to run on propane. So, they work okay. It's just now I'm going to be refilling propane. I like running ours on gas. When I first started this whole generator journey, when we had our champion, we were all about propane, 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 because I didn't want to haul gas. Well, now that I have, and when we went out west, the ability to run, a small generator that needs full power to run the air conditioners up top here with those micro air easy starts. The bigger generator running on propane at a lower rating, I would rather pay for the gasoline, because gasoline is more powerful. It puts out more power. It's got more energy, BTU wise, than propane does. And I'd just run on gas because I have a gas tank. I have a place to mount it, all that stuff. So yeah, the Rockwood generators aren't really set up to run off of a generator, because again, they don't really have the area for the generator to be mounted. Plus, it has to obviously run on propane. It's not a toy hauler that you could have a separate gas tank or something. I'm sure they could add that stuff, but I don't know. Don't get me wrong. If there was an option that said, "Hey, you want this generator and it runs on propane," I might think about it, just for the reason that I said.
So 68 fan, 74, but he likes 71. So, yep, 70 fan.
60. Herbie says 68 external fan.
Yep.
Air set to auto. I have a hard time with the air kicking on and off. It drives me crazy because
fan.
I think, oh my God, the power went out.
Yeah.
As cold as
71.
AC can be in the summertime. For the husky. What people do for their dogs. Can add a muffler to plug it down. Can you add yeah, I wanted to add an extra muffler to generator. Yeah, believe it or not, a lot of the noise that comes from a generator isn't the exhaust. It's actually just the running of the generator. That's why those inverter generators are so enclosed, and they've got like if you see me pull my cover off of my Champion that I had, or this Honda, it's a padded door. It's all padded in there. They're trying to knock down that sound. I said, believe it or not, the exhaust really isn't that loud on inverter generators. It's just the engine running. So yeah, I want to do no extra muffler. That it's not that it'd bog it down. It's just it would probably overheat it because it's not evacuating the cylinder the way that it should. It's all about pulse. It's all about that exhaust pulse and how it evacuates. You don't want to mess with that because it would also make it to where it may not run as efficiently because it's not sucking in the fuel the way that it should, because the exhaust the chamber, the piston, the cylinder didn't exhaust as much as it should. So the fresh air intake on the downstroke may not get a chance. It'll have some exhaust still in there. Yeah, you definitely don't want to add that. All right, so everybody says what they did. We set our air conditioner in our bedroom to 64, and we have a fan on, an oscillating fan that's on, and we set it on on low cool, because I don't really notice that much difference between high cool and low cool. But we leave it on low cool all night long, so there's always a fan running, so there's always noise going on, and of course, I'm talking about the ceiling fan running, the fan built into the air conditioner, and then our oscillating fan too. We like it really cold when we sleep, which is really funny because we love the heat. It's just during the night I don't want to deal with it. I want it cold. But yeah, 64. We run 64.
Somebody wants to know why you went with the expensive Honda.
It's the best. I didn't want to screw around with anything. The Predator is probably the one that everybody wants to go to because it's at Harbor Freight. It's a little noisier. It does a pretty good job I mean, side by side, the other one's just better. Um, it's to make modifications if I wanted to the Honda. They make a propane kit that you can buy and bolt on. They make a natural gas kit you can buy and bolt on. They make there's something. Oh, they make, well, now they've got Bluetooth on them to where you can communicate with it and find out what's happening with it. With the bigger Honda generators, the bigger like 3000, you compare that to like the Predator generator they have. The 3500, I think, is theirs. It's the same. It's the best one. It's the quietest one. You can buy, remote start kits for it. I mean, it's all that stuff is. I I just got past a certain point on the generator. I think it's kind of like I could have been on the road traveling in our old travel trailer with our old truck, but at some point it's like, you know what? I'd rather just get a new one that's nice, that you're going to have breakdowns and stuff, but I'd rather just have new so that I can keep them as minimal as possible. We had the money. It wasn't very expensive for the Honda. I didn't think. If I was tight on money, I might have looked at the Predator more. But again, I didn't want to offend anybody. So if somebody comes up and says, man, I hear your generator running and you're right next to us, I could say, hey, I bought the cheapest, or I bought the quietest generator that money could buy. I can't do any better than this. This is the quietest thing. So, I mean, I had a foot to stand on if there was any kind of argument, which obviously there's not. And I don't think that the difference in the noise is that great between Predator and Honda, but there is a difference. I mean, you can tell there is a bit of difference. I think that's about it. I think that's the only reason why.
You heard about the California ban?
California ban?
Yeah. Now they're getting rid of
Oh, yeah, right.
all the fuel.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
What about the dual champion fuel generators?
Oh, I like those. I mean, we had one. Again, compared to the Honda 3000, there is no comparison. That Honda 3000 is far superior. It's also really expensive. And it's also a little heavier. And I think maybe slightly bigger than the Champion dual fuel. But for the money, if you're just wanting to get into a generator, if you're just wanting to try it out, if you just think you might be using it, get the Champion. And the dual fuel I love because I liked having the option of running on propane. I mean, I liked not having to haul gas.
Sullivan said fire service proven. Hondas.
But yeah, right. That's, yep, absolutely. Small gas engines by 2024. Yep. Everybody in California, start putting your stuff on Craigslist, Nevada.
Yeah.
Craigslist, Oregon.
Yeah.
Craigslist, Arizona. Better start getting rid of all that stuff. Generac does say their inverter generators have comparable noise levels to Honda. Yeah, Robert's right. He says Generac does say their inverter generators have comparable noise levels to Honda. I think that's the other point that you may want to look at also when you're shopping. It's all personal preference. I know I can get Honda service darn near anywhere. They're everywhere. Generac, they're pretty well known. I mean, they've been around a long time. It kind of proves the point why you should get a Honda, I guess, when you have every manufacturer comparing themselves to Honda. When you got that many manufacturers across a wide spectrum of people out there saying it's comparable to the Honda, it's close to the Honda, it has almost the same wattage as the Honda, it's almost as quiet as the Honda. At some point, you just start saying, well, wait a minute, why don't I just get the Honda? I mean, if it's close, it's getting close there. And it comes down to, do you have the extra money to buy it? That's about it. I mean, really, that's the only thing. Solar generators moving up in power. Solar generators are still right. I'll tell you honestly, if we had our way, we would load up the roof with solar, and I would get a Victron, and I would make it to where we could run a generator, a gas generator, and use the batteries with the Victron to make up any difference. Because I would like to do that even in the campgrounds that require you to pay for electricity. We like when we were in Paradise, we had to pay based on the electricity we actually used. When we were in South Padre Island, we had to pay for the electricity we actually used. The longer you stay at places, a lot of those places charge you for electricity used. They read your meter. They actually charge you kilowatt an hour based on what you're using. Well, if you have batteries and you have solar and you have a Victron that helps run your big draw items by using less electricity off the pole, I mean, eventually it pays you back. I still think though the outlay is just like, it's a little expensive. I mean, it's expensive to get into those lithium batteries. I mean, you're still talking, even if you get an off brand that's pretty good, you're probably in the $600 range per battery. Don't get me wrong, I think they're awesome, but holy cow, our lead acid batteries, did we pay? I mean, that's 6 lead acid batteries, right? I think we paid 109 for my interstate, for those interstates.
Yeah.
I think they're 109 a piece. I mean, that's 6. I could get 6 interstate deep cycle batteries for the price of that lithium. And I mean, that's sure the lithium it has more usable before it falls off. But holy cow, if I've got 6 deep cycles, I mean, there's going to be a fall off, but holy cow, it's with 6 of them it's going to take a long time before it falls off. It's really tough. When you winterize your camper back in Ohio, did you use antifreeze or the air? Both. 34 degrees forecasted for Lincoln, Nebraska. Ugh. I did both. What I would do is I would use the air compressor and I'd blow at a very low pressure. I made my own little valve that screwed into the city water hookup. But at a very low pressure, I would go ahead and turn on my air compressor and I would push all the air out of I'd open all the valves, everything, the low point drains, all that stuff. I would first run each sink first. I'd do the kitchen and then I would turn on the bathroom, then shut off the kitchen. You don't want to put air in there and not have anything open. And then I would run turn off the bathroom sink and then turn on the shower. And then I would turn off or start flushing the toilet and turn off the shower. And I would run through everything, and then the outdoor shower. A lot of people, that's all they do. Of course, I drain the hot water tank and I leave the hot water tank plug open. Not only that, but I have a wand that hooks to an air compressor that I go in and I blow out all the water that may have been sitting inside the hot water tank. And then I leave the hot water tank open. I don't put the plug back in it. I leave it open all winter long because there's really no sense in it. Who cares if whatever's in there is getting exposed? Unless a rodent gets in there or something. I guess that would be the only downfall. Yeah, it could be bad. I never thought about that till just now. Guess they put some steel wool in there. I guess that might help. But a lot of people, that's all they did though, was they just use the air and they blow it. And they've been doing it for years. They've never had a problem. We would then at that point, after I blew everything out, I would of course bypass the hot water tank and we would run antifreeze and everything and then pour a little antifreeze in all the P-traps of all the drains. And the reason and then I would run the pump, the freshwater pump. I would run a little antifreeze through it. I would turn it on and just get some antifreeze to go through it. The reason is it only takes 1 drop of water in 1 seal of 1 connection that freezes and expands that it could crack a seal or crack a line or something. Never had that problem. And I know people that have never done antifreeze. They just do the air method, and they've been doing that for years, and they've never had a problem. I just wanted to double check. Difference in Honda and everything is wattage output. Yeah, our Honda, our running amperage is good on the Honda. It's like it's up. It's a step up. That's for sure. I noticed it with our Champion dual fuel, for example, that it was listed as a 3,400 watt. I believe it was a 3,400 watt generator when running on gasoline, and it would not power both rooftop air conditioners on the low cool setting. One's a 13.5 and the other one's a 15,000. And it had to do with the running wattage or the running amperage of both those air conditioners, even with the micro air easy starts on them. And even though that Champion is a 30 amp, it just wouldn't run those two air conditioners. It kept on shutting off. Even if I could get it to run for a little while, the overload light would just sit there and flicker. You could see it flickering. It was getting ready. It wanted to shut off. I had an Atima generator that was awesome. It was a great. I don't know if the company's still in business or not, but I had an Atima generator, and it was a 3,000 watt generator. It wasn't a 3,400 like the Champion. It was a 3,000 watt generator. It was a 30 amp. I run both airs on that. It never flickered, didn't do anything. It just ran them. So it has something to do with some of the other manufacturers and how they do it. I still prefer the Champion because of its price. That Atima was like, I think it was $1,800 or $1,400, something like that. And the Champion at the time I bought it, I think it was $900 for the dual fuel. It wasn't very expensive. Yeah, I think if you're going to run on gasoline and you're not going to be in the mountains or anything like that, and you're only wanting to run one air conditioner, just make sure. I would get a single fuel Champion with a remote start on it. I mean, why not? I mean, it's nice. That dog is still barking. That dog has been barking since
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Yeah, so 7:30 now.
It's crazy.
I don't know if I don't think you guys can hear it. Our microphones won't allow it, really.
Oil changes, you can go longer in between
The
on the Hondas.
Yeah, the Craftsman generators. Of course, they just buy them from whoever. They just slap their name on them. Very quiet. I still own the Honda though. Yeah. Generators longer. Yeah, watching it. Could you recommend a place in Sedona? Did we go through Sedona?
No.
Were we even near Sedona?
I don't think so. Yeah. The only place we stayed in Arizona was Yuma.
Sholo.
Oh, I
Okay,
forgot.
Google.
Yeah. Sholo. I did
Sedona,
forget about
Arizona.
Here's what I found.
Oh, isn't that nice? I wanted the map, you dumb, stupid.
that. That would be Google.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. Sedona, Arizona. Whoops. Sorry, beep there. Let me see where it's at. Prescott, Chino Valley, Flagstaff. Didn't we look at Flagstaff? No. Sorry, we didn't go through there. We didn't go through that way. We the closest that I can tell you is Sholo. We were in Sholo. That's still it's further than probably what you let's see directions of Sholo.
It's pretty nice there now, though.
Yeah, we're not even close. That was 170 miles. 170 miles. Sholo was nice. It was a nice little city, kind of cool. Everything's about gambling. It's show low. It's like show your hand low. All the streets, you got ace of jacks and, ace of jacks. You have deuce of hearts, I think is one of the streets. And it's kind of cool. It's a nice little town. Very clean. Everybody's very nice there. I had to go to the hospital there. The hospital was awesome. They were very good. Very, very helpful. Mike, is that how my solar is set up? That is how my solar is set up. We save a great deal of money on Campground Electric. Yeah, we want to do that, but it's a big, so how much am I going to save over what kind of period of time for it to pay me back? I mean, that's all math I would have to do. That's that's kind of the whole reason that we did generators initially. We, every RV is equipped for a generator. You just have to plug it in. Solar, not so much. I mean, there's some stuff you got to do there, and of course, the install, doing it yourself versus having somebody else do it. Buying it all at once in a package versus piecing it together with different things. I mean, there's a lot of work involved. We would have to be in sun a lot. So now I'm thinking, all right, if I'm not going to be in sun, like here, at this where we're at here, solar would not make sense. I am under a tree. We're under a tree. We'll be, I could be under a tree here all year round. So now, if you're solar, now you got to be out in the sun. So now, how much are you losing in your cooling efficiency because you've got your rig out in the middle of the sun just to make sure your panels have sun? So I mean, there's a lot of variables, and trust me, if at some point we get to that, we'll have to research all that. I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to, hey, is this going to work? Where are we going to be at? That when we're traveling, I would like to have a couple solar panels while we're traveling to keep stuff, just to keep stuff, I guess you could say. And people have asked me this, and yes, I can, and I probably could do it if I rewired a little bit differently, but I can even the way we have it now. Yes, I can fire up my generator and have the rig plugged in, and we can drive down the road and have our air conditioner running in here. And we could have the refrigerator running off of that. Even though it's a propane, I probably have it on propane, but yeah, I could do that. But I would like to see to where I would like to have the solar to where I could run my refrigerator maybe. But then again, you're into batteries, and now my batteries are taking up, even the lithiums that are lightweight, be nice to have like 4 of them. Now I've got to find the space for them if because 4 of them, regardless, they're going to take up more than 2 regular batteries take. If I'm doing lead acid or AGMs, now I've got to have like 6. So they're going to take up more space. It's now I'm giving up space, and now I've got weight if they're with the lead acid or the AGMs versus the others, and it's a tough call. It's really tough. Thinking about inverting non-expanding water. Well, okay, what? Oh, converting. What? Okay, Alan, I'm trying to read it and I don't understand what it says. I'm thinking about inventing non-expanding water just for campers. I don't know. How you going to have non-expanding? Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be kind of... That's still going to be antifreeze on some level. But even antifreeze will freeze once it gets so cold. I have a Champion 2200 that's brand new, never opened, stored in my garage. Should that be fine, or do I need to open it up? It's been there 3 years. I would definitely open it up and run it. Or sell it new in the box and then find another one and start all over, whenever you get closer. We ran into that. We bought stuff and it's like, oh crap, are we going to ever use it? How long did what generator was it? We didn't run for a while.
It was the little
green one.
Yeah.
A 1,000-watt generator. It just sat and sat and sat. I'm like, I would go out and start it just to run it. I would run it. You want to keep all those seals heated, expanded, all oil on them, all that stuff. You don't want them to dry out. When they assemble those generators, they have packaging, machining oil that they use to assemble stuff. But other than that, they're not lubricated, and they're counting on oil to be in there to lubricate. Same with the fuel even though some people say, oh man, I drain out all my fuel and all that. I would rather leave my fuel in. And of course, they have additives, Seafoam and Stable and stuff like that. I never really liked any of that stuff personally. If I was to put any in, it would be seafoam, because seafoam, it burns really well and it does a lot of other stuff to your engine. But I would also make sure I had fuel in my fuel bowls, because you got all those little O-rings and the fuel bowl gasket itself, and they like to be lubricated. And of course, fuel is petroleum, and it will lubricate. And that seafoam, that'll just add that much more in there. The worst thing to happen if you put too much seafoam in your fuel system, it'll smoke when it runs. It's not going to hurt anything, though. You'll be fine. So when it freezes, just joking, you missed it. Yeah. I was going to say, non-expanding water, and I'm thinking, well, you could take water and probably put some sort of additive in it that would keep that. And then I'm thinking, well, shoot, that's just antifreeze.
How long are you going to keep the camper for putting all that money into it?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's a good question. I mean, even with the one we have here, I mean, I even completely forgot we did those stink valves, the pressure valves from the gray tanks. I forgot we even did those. There's so many little things that we've done to this. One of the biggest modifications that I would hate to have to redo again, getting into another RV, is, of course, trying to figure out a generator setup, that works, and having my surge protector and autoform and everything inside the RV wired in, that I can unplug it and plug it back in. I can bypass it, all that. I love that. I'm going to have to do that again, because, man, it's so nice going to these campgrounds and just opening the pedestal and plugging it in, not worrying about crap, and looking at my phone and going, yep, the power's good. And that's it. You're fine. Our power has been boosted at this campground twice, right? I think twice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was at the last campground.
Was it the last? Okay, maybe it was the last one. And that's a real thing, guys. You forgetting where in the heck you're at, and when you did what, and where were we? That crap that's thick. That happens a lot with us. We forget where we're at. No lie, nothing like. I mean, I don't know why we tell you a fib. We have walked out of the RV, and I have walked out. I don't know if Heidi has. I've walked out in the morning and go, oh yeah. I mean, I've really done that. Especially when we were moving around out west a lot. It's like, oh, I forgot we'd left there. There's times we get up in the morning, and there's times I get up and I forget that we're boondocking in a Walmart or something for the night, and I go to roll out of bed and the wardrobe slide's still in. And I'm like, oh, I'm up against the wardrobe slide. We must be boondocking. And then I start thinking, where are we? And hearing noises outside. And it's like, are we hooked up to the truck? Where are we parked? Which way are we facing? I mean, all that's some real stuff. That's weird. That's weird to not know where you're at and forget where you're at and forget what happened, where we were at. She has a list on her phone of every place we stayed and the dates that we stayed there, and how much it cost. We refer to that all the time because we can't remember where was that campground at that we did this, or where did we, and she'll say, no, it was after this one. I'm like, oh, I forgot all about that one. Yeah, that's weird.
Fort Wilderness Campground. I'm not sure where that's at.
Disney.
Oh, is it?
Walt Disney World.
Oh, that's right, it is.
Yeah. Yes, it's on our, let me rephrase that.
It's on our list.
It's on our list, not our schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Eventually.
We might be Florida residents when we do it. That way it might be a little cheaper.
I was reading today, it's like a membership. You gotta
Oh, she's leaving?
pay.
See you, Laverne.
Yeah, I already said. Let's see.
Most solar manufacturers sell expandable kits. Yes. How are the RV tires looking? Not as good as we'd like. They're in good shape. There's plenty. There's still tread on them and everything. They're not bald, or they're not, of course, wearing weird now that we got the axles all straightened out. However, if you look at the tires up close, in between the tread at the low point, the bald point of the tire, like if there was no tread, it'd all be bald. You can see little hairline cracks all throughout the tires. We don't have that many miles on the tires, do we? 20,000?
Yeah, we We probably have.
20,000 miles? I don't know.
How many miles on the truck?
24,000?
And it's got less than 20.
Less than 20,000?
Yeah.
No, we left with Goodyear's on. And we left with just around 3,000 miles on the truck.
We actually had we went about 500 on the last, what were they called?
Castle Rock.
Yeah, we put about 500 on the Castle Rocks. So,
and
yeah.
we talked to Rockwood about that, asking him about why they switched over to the Goodyear Endurance, and he said no matter how good those Castle Rock tires were, and again, we didn't have any problem with ours. There was a couple people that had problems, but I'm talking minor incidences compared to some of these other ones. They were okay tires. He said everybody was dead set that they were China bombs, because maybe 2 people out there said something about it out of all the thousands of units that they had out there. That was it. They said we just couldn't afford anymore to field any more calls about the tires. He said so they went to Goodyear Endurance on all their rigs. Unbolt all the upgrades. I don't know if I'd want to do that. Of course, the Autoformer and the Power Watchdog will go with us. I'm going to have to rewire. Of course, the generator box and the gas tank box will go with us. As far as the bumper and the trays, not. I doubt it. The bumper's staying on for sure. Yeah. The trays, they're kind of the right size for the bumper. Probably they're going to stay on there too. Let me think what else. The Micro Air Easy Starts on the air conditioners, they're going to stay.
The only thing that's not going to stay is the hitch.
The hitch.
And it might even stay.
Yeah, it all depends. If somebody bought the RV from us, then probably the hitch would stay.
Right.
But yeah, that's the paper towel holder, that'll stay, right? Why would we take that out? There's just little stuff. And it's funny because there's a lot of things that I completely...
there's some stuff that...
The Levelmate Pro will probably stay.
That's staying.
The propane tank levels...
Those can stay.
They're going to stay also. Because we'll just rebuy that stuff. They've upgraded them. They have new propane tank sensors now. The Levelmate Pro, not a big deal. I don't even know if we need that. If we went into a fifth wheel, I don't know. Right. So anyways, yeah, there's the carbon monoxide detectors will probably stay. The extra ones we have. I think we would like to take the lights. We have a lot of lights in these cabinets, guys. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We have
6, 7, 8, 9.
We'll take those.
10, 11, 12. Is there any in the bathroom? I don't think so. We have like 12 lights, motion sensing lights that run off of how many AA batteries?
4.
4 AA batteries. We've never replaced the batteries in any of them. Now, with that said, we've had a couple that's already gone dead. We have like 4, I think, that's gone dead. But since we installed them, and this is when we first got the RV, before we had stuff in the cabinets or anything, we installed all those LED lights, and they last a long time on the 4 AA batteries. We're probably going to take those out. I think that's probably a good idea, because they're all double-sided tape. We'll just peel them off and put new double-sided tape and put them in the next
They've worked
thing.
out really well.
Oh, they're really great. They're directional too, so if you have it point them in the right way, they don't like just light up everything and blind you. They shine in an area. So yeah, really happy with that.
So do you really need a bigger trailer?
Do we need a bigger trailer? Now that we're slowing down, we always wanted a slightly bigger trailer. I know that we didn't really cover that whenever we were shopping, and her and I would go back and forth about trailer size. She always wanted something bigger. I'm always wanting something smaller. The thing is our traveling and what the kind of traveling we were going to do and how much we wanted to travel. We knew we wanted something smaller, on the smaller side, let's say that. Even though this is very comfortable and we could definitely stay in here, we are now on a little bit of a clutter feel that we've got going on in here. We're finding the day in, day out living in this now that we've been doing this for as long as we have. Now,
Almost a year.
Well, we started living in this at home.
Right, but we didn't hit the road until the end of October.
Right, but we actually started living in this in June.
Yeah, June 4th.
June 4th. So, yeah. Anyways, now that we're starting to slow down and we're going to be maybe staying at places a little bit longer than what we were before, it's a little tight. I mean, there's some things that we need to have a little bit more room for. Like I said, a printer. We gotta have Heidi and her Cricut, and she likes to do that. But we've gotta, we always gotta put the Cricut away, and then when it comes out, it sets here. But then her computer has to be somewhere else, and it's right up against me, and I'm in my recliner, and she walks through and she blocks the TV when she's walking back and forth from the kitchen to here, and I take up the entire dinette and all my crap over there with my, for editing. It means it's okay. Just relax. I'll get it. So yeah, we're going to definitely have to get into something slightly bigger. I mean, it would only feel comfortable. I'm going to close our blinds so we don't have all the neighbors staring at us in the fishbowl, because we're in the fishbowl right now. Didn't you know?
Yeah.
Plus, they didn't subscribe, so they don't get to watch our thing. Okay, I'm gonna move the router.
You've been peeping through the windows the whole time. What am I hooking up to since it all
The
got shut
same,
down?
the 5.0.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I plugged her computer in, and I neglected to turn on the power strip that she was plugged into, because our power strip, the light quit working, so you can't tell if it's off or on. Why did it ask for that? It should have been automatic. Just hit no. That's weird. Huh.
I haven't had the computer on for a while. I haven't had it on since this new browser. Oh, that'd be nice.
Hey, look at that.
Cool.
We're back. You'll love a fifth wheel. I don't think I really care one way or the other about the fact that it's a fifth wheel. Other than the again, nothing set in stone. just let you know, nothing set in stone about us. Eventually we want to move into it. Move into a fifth wheel. I'm hoping that I feel it less as far as movement wise. And our RV does a great job. It's very stable when we're set up, but we do feel movement. I mean, I know that the fifth wheel is going to be a little bit steadier because of the leveling system and the jacks, the way they are. I'm sure we'll still feel movement. I have no doubt about it.
No, we do not have a new RV coming.
No, we don't have a new RV coming. The other thing that I'm hoping with the fifth wheel is we'll get a different sense of what it feels like inside, because the ceilings will be a little higher. That makes a difference when the ceiling feels a little higher, I guess. The other thing with the fifth wheel that we would be looking forward to on some extent was, again, the towing length. I don't think that I'm going to be much longer, even though the trailer's longer. I'm trying to think what else I'm looking forward to on a fifth wheel that I can think right off the top of my head that I'm like, that should be better. That should be better. And that, I think maybe, obviously the towing to some extent and the hookup to some extent. I like that idea a little bit. But, losing the bed of the truck and the storage that's in the bed of the truck compared to what we have now, compared to what it's going to be like with a fifth wheel. I mean, I had protected storage in the bed of the truck that I didn't really have to worry about too much. I'm going to lose that to some extent. I'm going to have, stuff that will be in the back of the truck, and it's going to be limited, and I don't know. There's just that's a big thing. But I of course, towing. I know it's going to tow better. It should tow better. Although ours tows really good. I mean, we're really happy with ours. Ours. I mean, we feel like we just kind of throw it around back behind us, even though it's 30 foot and 7,400 pounds or whatever we tow at. I mean, it really feels like something that we can throw around back there. I can pass people. I can go around. I can, we can fly up hills. When we go down hills, it's not like I've got to plan it all out going down a hill, or, really worried about all that mass behind us or anything like that. It really, it's not that big. It's not that heavy. It's not that wide. It's not that tall. It's a little travel. It's a smaller travel trailer compared to a fifth wheel. But, there's, again, slowing down. Just slowing down maybe physically means slowing down. Slowing down, driving down the street too. The storage is going to be pretty decent, but you got to remember our pass-through storage on our RV is very good. I have a 42-gallon blue tank in our pass-through, our grill, a propane tank, a trash can. I'm talking our metal trash can that's about that big. Our carpet for the under the awning. All our tie downs and everything for the awning. The screen that we have for the awning that comes down. 2 sets of beach lane drive on leveling ramps. Our 25-foot collapsible RV65 antenna mast. 3 totes. How many gallons are those totes?
I don't remember how many gallons those are.
I mean, they're
probably 20.
Regular size totes. I don't know how big. They're brute totes. They're the bigger size.
I mean, we got those 40-gallon ones for the bike, so they're definitely
right. Yeah, they're not that big.
They're like 20.
The 3 filter water filtration system. We have that in there. We have our laundry cart, our collapsible laundry cart. We have our beach cabana thing that we take to the beach. We have another green carpet that we use that we fold up. That's a felt type carpet that goes on top of the awning mat. Heidi's metal detectors in there.
That's about it. I think you named everything.
Yeah, and we have room. I mean, we have room. Of course, all of our stuff goes in there whenever we hook, our 50 amp cable, the hose, all that stuff goes in there. We have a lot of stuff in there. So what's in the back of the truck, which has been narrowed down considerably, we have to make sure all that stuff I just mentioned in our current pass-through can fit into the fifth wheel, and all the totes that are in the back of the truck can go into the fifth wheel. And
somehow, if we get a fifth wheel, we'll probably still run out of space.
you know how it is. We always kid around about that. You guys go out and
you can envision it, but is it going to work?
Most people, when they're shopping, where else do you see, other than maybe, I guess, cars or minivans or something like that? Usually people, when they go buy something and they're paying a lot of money for it, it's very rarely that they go, man, look at all this space, except for houses, cars, and RVs. Usually, I guess land. I guess if you're talking about land also. People go, "Ooh, look at all the space."
Yes, our truck has the fifth wheel prep.
Yeah, yeah, it has the whole gooseneck. We're seriously thinking about gooseneck stuff, but
We don't know yet.
yeah, if we run into that, we'll talk about it, and I'll tell you why and why we're doing it. I'm pretty interested, mainly in truck driving jobs, since that's what I do. That's why I asked.
He's just looking for a job to maybe move down to Florida.
Well, I mean, the truck driver.
There's jobs everywhere, but
Right.
truck driving down here?
I can't imagine them not. I mean, it's a nationwide shortage.
Right. Right.
The truck drivers, it's a nationwide
But
shortage.
I mean, like where we're at, we don't see a lot of truckers.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
We see some, but not a lot.
I think that's, I don't know what your situation is, but it's listen, it's a scary thing to just say, okay, wait a minute, I'm not, I don't have a clear answer on what I'm going to do. I know what I want to do, and I don't know exactly how to do it. Listen, just prepare yourself as much as possible. Sharpen your skills, be alert, be aware. And I just talked about this to who the other day? Did we just talk about that to Emmerich's?
Yeah, I think so.
I've and I'll just repeat it because I think it's good advice. I might be wrong, and you might say, I don't know, that sounds like some crap. But my brother-in-law, he had told me whenever my sister and him got pregnant with their first child, it seemed like that I always thought we were better off as far as money wise than them. And whenever my brother-in-law said, "Hey, you're going to be an uncle," I'm like, my reaction was not, "Oh, that's awesome." It was like, "Oh my God, how are you going to afford that?" And he says, "Well, most people can't. If you look at it on paper, if you sit down and try to figure it out, it doesn't look like you can afford kids, but you just make it work. You make sacrifices, and it just happens. Your kid, it just works. Of course, it doesn't just fall in place. It just not. It's a struggle, but it's worth it. I mean, it's your kids. You love it. If you love it enough, it's not work. It's just something that you're trying to do, and you want to do, and it's nice. So that's kind of the thinking that you may want to put in the back of your head of, hey, if I look at it on paper, I don't see how this is going to work. Well, if you really want it to work, it just works. Again, you have to be prepared on some level. You can't just pack up your 1972 Dodge Tradesman that has 115,000 miles on it and hook up to your 1955 what's that Holiday Rambler Luma trailer, and just hit the road with $20 in your pocket and go, oh, this will all work out, because obviously not. And I'm not saying that you need to go buy new stuff. I'm just saying that those things have, they're more prone to break down. That's why I was saying older stuff, much older stuff. Just be prepared. If you're bringing out something old, make sure you have a good set of tools and you know how to fix it. If you are coming out with something new, make sure that it's paid for, so you're not making payments on it, because you don't know what you may experience out here. The other thing there was an interview that was done years and years ago, and I just happened to watch it, and they were interviewing some famous Formula One race car driver. Like I said, I know I've said this in the past, so if you heard it, just kind of ignore me. And it was like Emerson Fittipaldi or somebody, and they said, how is it that it seems like that you're running a good race, you're running a fast race, and you're very competitive, but whenever push comes to shove and you need to get a little bit extra, you need to pull it out of, to get around somebody, or you just need to get a bigger gap on the guy behind you. How is it that you just like turn it up and you have you find a way? How do you find that way? What do you do? What's so special that it seems like you can do it better than everybody else? And he said, listen, I stay sharp. I'm a professional driver. I have a lot of tools at my, disposal. Quick reflexes, good reactions. I know how the car feels. I have a good feel for it, what I'm doing, what the car can do. And he says, whenever those situations come up, he says, I go into the corner way too fast. He says, I just fly into the corner faster than I should, faster than I have the rest of the race. And he says, and when I get in that corner, I figure it out. He says, I can figure it out. He says, I have the tools, I have the ability, I just kind of figure it out. So, I mean, part of that was our kind of game plan too. It's like, we don't have every aspect covered by no means, but you just figure it out. And if it's a goal you want to reach for sure, you'll figure it out if you want to do it. I mean, it really is funny what you will do when you have to do it. You could sit back and say, well, I'm not sure. And you may hem haw and all that. If you really want to do it, you will find a way for it to happen. I mean, it's just human nature that you get what you want. It's just how much can how much do you feel like you need to do what you want to do, and how much can you tolerate, making that happen. I mean, some sacrifices are greater than others for people that, maybe they can't do it emotionally. It's tough. It's tough to say, tell you the truth. You get your wife to get two jobs. You get your wife to get two jobs. Yeah, less is more. I agree with that. Less is more. And they can tweak their fuel performance with a switch. Yes, yeah, they can. But yeah, I'll tell you, I think that was one of the things that Heidi and I had discussed, and we never talked about it on camera, but I've talked with her about her work and her job every day, and she's like, on the early stages of us planning to go full time, I was a little bit more on board with it than she was. And that's natural. I mean, we see that a lot. You got the husband saying, I want to do it, and the wife's like, no way. And you got the wife saying, I'd love to travel, and the husband's like, no way. At some point, you guys will probably find common ground, I'm sure. That's what happened with us. But I was telling Heidi, I mean, she had a lot of apprehension. She was getting a lot of anxiety in that as we were moving a little bit further into it. And, I'm like, well, what's the worst fear? What's our worst fear? What's the worst thing that happens? We get out on the road and we have to get a job. Well, guess what? You're already doing that. So you're already doing worst case scenario. And the funny part is she actually, you can ask her, she'll comment on it. She is like kind of thinking when she gets to Vero Beach, she may want to do a job because it's, I don't know, it's in her nature. She's been doing it for so long that she wants to get that kind of a job that she actually goes and reports the work. Versus me, if I do the job, I would try to run, my own business doing something else. I don't know about going to work for somebody. I haven't worked for anybody since I did work for Sears for a short time. So 2007, I think 2008. I think it was about the last time I worked for anybody. So it'd be kind of tough. Heidi's out there commenting. He wants me out of the house. LOL. She wants out of the house. Don't let her fool you. She'll sit in here stir crazy. She'll clean this. She'll clean everything inside this RV 5 times over, and I'll just be sitting watching TV. Fix that shade behind you. My OCD is real. I didn't. Heidi closed or did that. I always pull it all the way down because I'm the same way. It's not crooked now, is it?
Yeah, it's still crooked.
There we go. I couldn't see it.
Sorry.
See?
Sue me.
We'll be here part-time and see how it goes from there. 7 months, 28 days for me, about 18 months for my wife. It's weird. Again, that's something that we would love to share with you on some level. I mean, there's a lot of weird feelings about stuff that goes on that we never thought. I mean, who would have thought that we would be on the road and just within a year's time that we are already thinking about, okay, let's slow down. Maybe we need to move into something a little bigger. Let's look at making a place our domicile already. I mean, I really thought that that would be something to be like 3 years down the road that we would be thinking about that stuff, and that's not the case. We started thinking about it right away. I don't know if that's good or bad. It's just what we're feeling. It's an odd thing. Man, we love the travel. We love the traveling part. I'll tell you what, if somebody would pay us, said, listen, you have unlimited gas,
Yeah.
and you could just travel every day of the week and just drive every day of the week anywhere you want to go. Because I mean, the traffic sucks a lot of times, but man, I don't care if I'm towing an RV or not. I would love to just, okay, we're going to stay here, and I don't have to unhook. That's the best part. If I don't have to unhook, and I stay for a couple, and then they say we just go somewhere else. Just drive somewhere else. I'm more than happy to do that. I could do that 200 to 700 miles a day, every day, over and over and over again. It's just it's like watching TV. Your windshield's your TV, and you get to make the channel whatever you want every day of the week. I love the traveling part of things and seeing new stuff. You really don't know what's around the next corner. But we do know we want to slow down a little bit in Florida here, because I think this might be us on some level just getting our first taste of what maybe our exit plan may be down the road. We still need to go through all the states north of like New Jersey. We got to go through all those states still. We got to go over in Michigan. We still got to go to the Upper Peninsula. We'd like to shoot through Canada. Somebody asked about that, north or south of the border.
Yeah.
I don't know about Mexico. You know, we enjoyed going to Mexico, just crossing over the border. And I know that's not real Mexico or whatever, but
It was good enough for me.
I would like to go see the tourist part of Mexico, you know, somewhere, you know, where there's a hotel or something, and we could stay at a hotel for a couple of weeks. But I'll be honest with you, some of the, it's awesome to see, but it's a little sad for me to see some of the you know, just, I don't know. It's a different country, and it just, you know, they live differently, and some of it's a little bit sad. Canada, the problem with that is, you guessed it, I don't know, it ain't hot enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful country up there. There's lots of beautiful places to visit. In the summer, it's nice and warm. I mean, I went to Peterborough in the summer and swam. You know, I swam almost every day in a big lake up there for 2 weeks. And I went fishing and all that stuff. I mean, I get it. It's just like any place else. But I don't think we're going to get tropical there or anything like that. But we do. I could see us going into Canada. I could definitely see that. We'll have to stop at the way I understand, we have to stop at a gun shop or something and drop off all of our weapons, have them secure them for us, so we can go up into Canada. But yeah.
Bill says it's 36.
It's 36. What? Run, Bill, run. I used to be of the mindset of a Corvette and credit card. Now I want a smaller trailer and a simple truck. I think our current trailer will work for us the next few years and bump it up 26, 25. Yeah. Like St. Augustine area to camp. St. Augustine is beautiful. I love this area. Nice right now. It's like
Perfect.
80 degrees every day, and it's
70 some at night.
70s at night. It's very pleasant. It's not bad. I don't think I want to be here in, you know, January time or anything. I don't know. It'd be a little cold. But it's a nice area. I'll tell you guys, if you would see the camp, which we kind of showed you a little bit, we didn't cut that. You've seen how short it was for us to go to the beach. I mean, it is very close. It is really nice every day, and it's free. And you can drive on the beach. You don't have to pay. So you could just go drive if you want to, if you don't want to walk or bike there. And there's a lot of stuff that, a lot of restaurants up and down through here. I'm not going to say it's Myrtle Beach touristy, but it's
Got
pretty
an
decent.
ant on me.
You got an ant. Cool.
Oh no.
It's a sugar ant.
I don't know where it went.
Oh,
They're gonna bite me now.
in your pants. Ants in your pants. I think you pinched it though. I think you keeled it. Parts of Western Canada are very hot this summer. Southern Ontario usually less hot and humid. Yep. Eventually, I'll probably use the funds from the RV sale for a crew cab pickup and a Jeep money for a small trailer. Cool.
It's a good idea.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember he mentioned something
he's
about
always looking.
a truck and a trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think we did okay. I mean, this worked out great. For all the traveling we wanted to do, this worked out great. I think it's just time. And funny thing is, I'll give you the same truth that we heard. You have to see the Nights of Lights at least once. It's saying, oh, we'll have to remember that. I'll tell you one thing that somebody told us a long time ago, or we watched it on YouTube or something. I'll just keep that going because it's very true. They said if you buy your RV, you do all your research and everything, you think you figured it out, you buy your RV. If you like RVing, if you really like RVing, your first RV probably 90% of the time will not be your last RV. I mean, even if it was the most perfect RV for you, eventually it's going to get to the point where it's starting to wear out if you're using it all the time, and you're going to want to get into something new anyways or something different. But yeah, somebody said, it was on YouTube, and they said, your first RV won't be your last one if you like it. And I'm thinking, I don't know. We did a lot of research to get to this point. We really did our homework to pick this one. And not only that, now we have outfitted it differently with different stuff to make it more personal for us. And I can't imagine that. And here we are really thinking about that, really thinking about that. It's kind of time for us to, move into something different. And I don't know if that would be the last. I really don't know. It's hard to say. I love the Class C, but want to get away from the dual rear wheels. Sully, you should have seen Marty and Debbie's Sprinter van. They had a Mercedes Sprinter van looking thing. It had one slide in it, but it was the same layout as your Class C. And I'm telling you, it was pretty good in there for how compact and how easy that thing is to drive. It has a little 3-liter diesel turbo engine in it. It was, I'm like, well, this is okay. I mean, the dinette slides out and the table all spins around and everything. It's real easy to get in and out.
It's nice.
And they had their bed and the shower and everything, but same layout. Their bed's in the back left corner and the shower. Bathroom's off to the right. The only thing is they didn't have anything over the cab. There was some storage over the cab, but not the big bed storage over the cab. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, wow, you could really get in and out of places. I mean, when they have to stay in parking lots, I mean, they can literally like pull and park in places and stay. I was like, wow, this really get around. But it reminded me of your Class C. As soon as I seen it, I was like, this is the same layout as Sully's. And the other thing was he had a keyboard. He had a keyboard. The thing I'm like, oh my god, it's like Sully and his guitars. The C-Tow and the Jeep was awesome for all the stuff we got the first year out. Yep. I had a tent trailer and two. Oh right. I remember he still had that trailer there. I want the space of the trailer. I'm even prepared to stuff my girth into a wet bath.
That's funny.
There does seem to be the odd longer-term owner that does a lot of customization of the interior of their rig after a couple years. Yeah, it's only been a year. What happens when you say we should have stayed in the trailer? We can always go back. I mean, it's like I said, you got to kind of get into that whole don't double guess yourself too much. You don't want analysis paralysis to where you think about it forever and don't do anything. What's the worst that happen? We have to go back to a travel trailer.
Yeah.
no big deal.
By then there would be
Yeah,
something else.
yeah, something different, something better. I mean, if you think about it, just the year and a half that we waited when we first seen this model plan, this layout, we're like, I think this is the one. We wasted a year and a half, not wasted, because we brought you guys along. We wanted to show you all of our shopping experiences, what we were looking for. So we went through all these RVs for a year and a half, and then we came right back around to this one, going, I don't know, this is probably the one. We should have just got it. Well, the fact that we didn't get it, they went from the tank sizes being in the high 30s, low 40s for all the tanks to 60 fresh, 45 gray, 45 black. They weren't that big then. They also added a Wi-Fi Ranger, was not an option. That was that was standard on it. They also went to nitro fill tires, which I didn't really care too much about that, but nonetheless, that was something they did. They went to a bigger microwave, which again, we don't really, that's necessarily not an upgrade for us. We care less one way or the other, but they did. I mean, there was a lot of changes that they made to the RV just in a year and a half that made it better. Well, now you see them and they're adding solar panel kit, solar kits that you can option in that have 12-volt refrigerator. I mean, everything just keeps on getting better. Now they come with Goodyear Endurance tires, factory. Ours didn't. It's just, there's a lot of things. So it's not always a bad thing to, look back and say, it's, maybe we should have stuck with that. It's a good thing to know what you want, but it's even a better thing to know what you definitely don't want. It makes things a little bit easier to say, well, I definitely don't want, beets for lunch. I hate beets. Now it narrows it down. Well, maybe what do I want? So it's the same with the RV itself. Maybe we might get back in the travel trailer. I don't know. I have to see how the fifth wheel. I might get the fifth wheel and start towing and telling her this thing's a pain in the butt to tow around. It's a big sled behind me. It's all up in the wind, and I don't enjoy moving it around as much. And maybe we got to watch the trees we're going under more or something. I don't know. I don't know until we do it.
Do you plan on ever wintering in Texas or Quartzsite?
Well, Quartzsite would definitely be on the list for one reason. We still would like to go do the show. I'd like to go see the Quartzsite show, the whole tent, all that stuff. Texas.
You said no before.
About wintering.
Yeah. Look what happened last winter.
I know, and I don't, when you start hearing about Florida, then maybe I would probably start putting Texas on the same level as that. When you start hearing, oh my God, Miami got 3 inches of snow and it froze or something like that, we don't like the cold. I don't know if that's ever going to change. I don't want to feel the cold. I don't like the snow. I don't like to deal with the snow at all. And I know everybody says the same, don't snow. Even if it did snow, it doesn't snow very often here. And even when it does, it only lasts a short time. I mean, I get that, but you keep on saying the snow word, though. You keep on saying it, and I didn't want to say the snow word or see the snow word or talk about the snow word. But nonetheless, it happens out there. Texas, we didn't get a chance. We had a chance, but we didn't make it happen because a storm was coming in.
So we just kind of drove through.
Yeah, after South Padre Island, I think we would have liked to done San Antonio. I've talked about the river walk with her a few times, and I've already been on. See, I was already stationed in Texas, so I seen a lot of stuff she hadn't, and I was kind of wanting to share that with her. I'd like to go back to 6th Street in Austin to see what that's. I don't know if it's still like it used to be. I mean, I loved going down there and partying and that. Of course, look at me now. It's not like Last time I was there, I was 19 and I was partying, or 20. I think it
So
was 20.
anyway, it's a possibility.
No, but quartzite's more of a possibility than
Yeah.
Texas
Yeah.
because of the whole show.
Right.
And maybe boondocking out in the desert, trying that out. I mean, but the campgrounds are so cheap. I don't know. Maybe I would want to do the campground instead. To see the people, to run into people out there. I mean, it's a large gathering. To see all that, I would like to see that. I mean, I'd like to see all that for sure. So I
Just
think quartzite's more of a yes than Texas.
Bill says he's got another front end repair on his truck.
Bump steer seems to get real bad about every 15 to 20,000 miles. What was your truck again, Bill? I can't remember. Is it a crew cab long bed or what is it? What's I wonder what the deal is with the bump steer. We haven't had any problems with anything on ours as
Not
far as
yet.
steering goes.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. I mean, is that wood? Yeah, that's wood. I know this is wood. Should just hit my head. Come see me in Texas. So last time we come see you in Texas, we would have had to bring gasoline for the generators. It was only for 2 days. One really. Then it was 75 to 80 again. Love our fifth wheel, but I can't drive it. So Phil is getting me a We Roll cargo trailer to trick out for my she shed. Oh my word. She shed. You need to go camp on the equator. That'd be awesome. 18 F-250 crew cab long bed with a box, 6'2", linear 4. Instead of that. Oh, you have a bed. Or you have a box instead of a bed. I didn't know that. Why did I miss that? I'm wondering if it's a weight geometry problem at this point. Wonder how much weights for... Because some people... At one point they said the vehicles... I remember Ford, whenever they were making excuses for a lot of the problems that they were having with death wobble and that, some of the excuses were, well, you need to be loaded. The trucks need to be loaded. They're designed to be loaded. I'm thinking, half the trucks I see go down the road, they're not loaded. I know we won't... I'll tell you, there is a little bit of this doubt in my mind. That's one of the reasons we didn't go to a different tire combination on the truck. Because I thought, man, if it's a different rolling resistance, maybe it's not going to be what they call radial force. There may not be the same amount of radial force on the road. It might change the geometry enough that it would cause a wobble situation or a bump steer possibly problem. I mean, that's... I don't want to mess around with the Ford, being a problem. If we were to change tires on the truck and go to something else, I think we would first pay for an extended bumper-to-bumper warranty, which we've looked at it a couple times. We have until 36,000 miles till we can upgrade and go to a longer warranty that's bumper-to-bumper.
Bill says he has a winch on the front. He thinks maybe that's...
Oh, wow. See, I don't know. I mean, see, there's different schools of thought on that. Now you've got extra weight on the front. I mean, if anything, you would think that would plant the front end even harder to the ground to where you wouldn't get any kind of weird bump stare. When you're talking bump stare, so when you go over a bump, you feel it. It's in your steering. It loosens up, right? And your truck may dart a little bit left or right. Is that what's happening? Or are you talking about return to center type things where when you're driving and you turn the wheel a little bit, it holds that position and keeps on tracking that way, and if you turn to the right, it goes back the opposite way? Or does it do that? I'm just trying to picture it in my head. Death wobble speeders. Park in East Texas, never lost power. Something about being on the same line as the city hospital. Oh, that's a good one. And it sticks out from the front bumper at least a foot. But still, I don't know if that would be much of a problem. I've towed my travel trailer twice to Tennessee in the past 2 years. Gotta say, I'm not a fan. I'm looking at a Class C and a small tow vehicle. Well, it all depends on how you have your vehicle set up. I mean, honestly, if I was to take the generator off of the back of the truck trailer, and I put a little bit of water in the front tank, this RV would travel even better than it currently does. But I do not dread hooking up and having to tow the RV going down the road. I mean, it's just a little bit more thinking going around corners and that. But other than that, I don't white knuckle it. I don't think about it. It's just back there. It goes wherever I want it to go. I mean, I just got to pay attention when we're going into places and turning around. Sometimes we got to do U-turns on roads, backing into parking, going through Walmart, stuff like that, going through gas stations, getting gas. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I think about when I'm out. But just the towing part, going down the road and stuff, it really is a pleasure to tow. I don't have any issues. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the hitch. The hitch is really nice. And the truck, of course, is overkill for this. So it don't seem like much. I'll never say, I know a lot of people do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll never say, oh, it's like towing like nothing's back there. I have never, ever, 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 regardless of how small something is, felt that nothing is behind me. I mean, even the smallest trailer, I can feel it clunking back there and stuff. But I mean, it really does go down the road, and it feels very comfortable to tow. It almost feels odd when we go somewhere and we don't have the trailer on the back. Of course, you get used to it, and then whenever you hook up the trailer, it feels kind of odd having the trailer back there for about the first 20 to 30 miles. I'm just right back into it. It's just all comfortable. If I'm going on a curve and hit anything, it will jump into the next lane to the point where if somebody beside me, I'll slow down because I know certain bumps will cause the truck to jump.
Scary.
Have you changed the tires on your truck? Are you running like the factory height, factory width, all that stuff, or do you change something on that? The hitch you have helps. Yeah, the hitch, it definitely helps. That Jenny bumper setup is impressive. Wait, did you guys get a fifth wheel?
She said never mind.
Never mind. Back in the right of the comments. No, we don't have a fifth one. Proper weight distribution within the tow vehicle seems to be key for me. Yeah, absolutely. Got my first camper. What brand tires do you recommend? Even though I'm not 100% pleased with them, the Goodyear Endurance. I mean, they're right now for the money, they're the best tires that I've run into. I think that they should do better than what they are, but they're still good. I mean, they're great. We haven't had any problems with them. It's just they're not doing as well as I would like. I think that they could do a little better, but Goodyear Endurance.
What kind of tank treatments do we use? We don't use any.
Yeah, we haven't had a need to use any tank treatments in our RV. We do very good flushes. We don't put crap down in the sink. Our black tank, we have a whole routine that we do all the time. We've had any problems. Yep, factory size Goodyears, Firestone in general. I don't know what that is.
That's what was running this morning.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. Something just fired up out there. Getting gas pain in the ass. I call it combat fueling. It's just me. I don't like towing, I guess. Yeah, getting gas is rough. I mean, gasoline, because we got to go into the car pumps. Oh, it's a Harley.
Yeah.
It's Biketoberfest down in our area, guys, for people that don't know. So we're expecting to go into a lot of Harleys tomorrow because we're going down through Daytona, and it's going to be even worse. Yeah, I don't know, Bill. That's a strange one. That's a real odd one. I don't think that the generator or the winch on the front, I think that would be the exact opposite. I think that would help because bump steers, usually the front end losing the tires losing its grip off the road and changing direction because it was allowed some free movement. I will have to say that, and I've told her this, all these people that have problems with any kind of death wobble, and I would assume it's bump steer too. I put all new stuff on there. I would up heavy duty new stuff. I put all new stuff on there. Like in our case, she mentioned something the other day. I guess I need to look at the shocks. I mean, I know we only have 24,000 miles, but I mean, it's pretty hard, some pretty hard traveling we've done. So maybe we need to look at putting some good aftermarket shocks on there. As far as bump steer, if I was to experience bump steer with our current truck, I would just take it into Ford and have them do an alignment to spec, exactly to spec, because our truck is kind of set up the way, other than the cap and the extra weight we have in it, it's pretty much set up the way that it's supposed to be. We haven't changed anything. But I mean, I think somebody have to inspect it really, really good. We've had this problem in the past with our trucks, that the steering on the front end has done some strange stuff, like with our 97 and even the 95, to where I replaced all the steering gearbox. I replaced the ball joints, everything on those trucks, trying to get it ironed out. And I would take it to the shop, and and there was a couple of guys that really knew what they were doing, and they could, hey, let me put a little bit more caster in there for you and see if that works.
Instead of just going with the specs.
Right. Instead of going with just the specs. So the fact that you've done any kind of modification to your truck, I don't know, you might be wanting to go outside of Ford because they're just going to put it to specs, and maybe your truck's not really wanting to be set up that way.
Parts except the axle.
Put all new parts except the axle. The state has spent over $10,000 in parts. Jeez almighty.
That's crazy.
I've weighed the truck. It's about 9,500 pounds, fully loaded and fueled. Wait a minute. Your truck is 9,500 pounds? Holy cow. It's actually really heavy, isn't it? Ours with the cap.
Look how many miles it has on it.
Ours with the cap on it, it weighs 7,600 pounds.
Yeah.
God, that's not, it's 1,900 pounds more than ours? Is that right? Because our F-250 weighed 7,300 pounds with the cap on it, right? Because I said this crew cab only added 600 pounds to the, or 300 pounds to the weight. No, that was wrong. Our F-250 weighed 7,100 pounds.
Yeah, I can't remember.
76. Because I did that in the video. I talked about it. I said, you guys are never going to believe this, but this crew cab only adds, and it was like 600 pounds to the weight. Maybe it's a little bit less than 600 pounds to the weight of the, compared to the F-250 with the crew cab that we had. And the trucks were set up almost identical in every way. And they had the same cap on them even. But I know that we were way under 8,000 pounds. We actually way under. We were definitely under 8,000 pounds for the crew cab, for sure. The panel bed is probably 1,000 pounds. Full stuff we carry. Death wobble seems to be a huge problem for Ford. I've only experienced this with the F-350 dual. That death wobble is a problem for a lot of people. What's RV101? Hi, this is Mark Polk for RV101.
Yeah.
That guy. RV Education 101.
Yeah.
He had a Cummins, and you know, he does his videos are always real sterile and very, let me tell you how to clean a tank, you know, and he goes, first you're going to take this and do that, and he doesn't ever share anything with this. Well, he put out one video and he goes, I have a brand new Dodge and look at what it's doing. And he was showing the whole death wobble thing or whatever he was going on, or it was drifting. I think it was drifting all over the road. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he put out this video. It kind of would hurt his channel, I would think, on some level, the way he does stuff. And he was very upset about the whole thing. But no, I don't think any manufacturer has the title of death wobble. I'll tell you who's got the death wobble, king of death wobbles by far. By far. Anybody that has a Jeep that does any kind of work to it, lifting it, whatever. I have never seen so many death wobble Jeep videos because they all lift them and they do crazy stuff, big tires and that, and then they don't understand why they got a death wobble. But the Fords, I mean, there was a lot of videos on YouTube of there was quite a few Fords. You know, it's a bandwagon thing. You get one guy that says, "Hey, I got a death wobble," and then they're all like, "Hey, me too," and everybody starts posting videos. But I mean, I've seen it on other trucks too, and it's really most of the time it's just parts. Now, somebody had said at one point that the Super Duty trucks, when they started the Super Duty aluminums in 2017, that they had weak front end parts. You know, the parts just weren't up to snuff when they were smaller. If you just compared a couple years earlier, the same trucks, the drag links and everything were a little bit bigger. And I don't know if that's true. I never looked at it. Of course, us having a F350, I think we have. I'm sure our front end parts might be a little bit bigger, possibly. I don't know compared to an F250. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm just guessing. They may be exactly the same, but I mean it's that. I mean, you got to have slop somewhere that's causing that for the most part, or you have to. I mean, it's usually a caster problem. I mean, if it comes right down to it, it's a caster problem. If everything's brand new and perfect and you go out and you drive it and you have a death wobble, it could just be that the caster's off. That's why our power or electric bikes, electric e-bikes, that's what I wanted to say, electric e-bikes, they are more apt to do some weird stuff on the front end than our rad bikes ever did, because our rad bikes were, they had to correct what they on the motorcycle industry, and that it's a trailing center or a trailing line that you have, your forks are put out on a certain rake, a certain caster, and your weight is centered over a certain area, and there's an imaginary line that comes back in a certain way, and when you turn the steering, that line should do a certain thing. It shouldn't be too drastic or too angular to the initial line that I just talked about. Those electric bikes, that's not the case. There's a lot of angular going on there because of, the way it folds. That's the same with the scooter that I ride. When I get around close to 40 miles an hour, I start getting this weird wobble on certain. I gotta move around on the board to put my weight just right to get my. Well, if you guys ever watch World's Fastest Indian, he talked about the fishtailing that he had on that bike, and they're talking about center of pressure to over center of gravity and all that. That's all about trailing center and that imaginary line. Well, that scooter, I mean, it probably needs a little bit different rake put into it. But, again, the handle and the head unit all folds down a certain way. And it's just the way that it's designed. That's the way scooters are designed. But there is a wobble to it. I mean, if I don't move around on that board the right way, I can get a real weird wobble at 40 miles an hour, and that's kind of goofy. It's a weird feeling. I can confirm I've worked on lifted Jeeps that wobble. They all do. It's so funny. And it's crazy weak parts on a Super Duty LO. You'd think it'd be over-engineered. Yeah, you got to remember bean counters have their part in building it too. So it's always, there's always a compromise. He's getting... Wait a minute. He is getting his big
Bug out.
Oh, his bug out gear ready to go just in case. Yeah, I never know.
Tsunami on the east.
It seems some amateur lifting trucks can cause problems. Yes, right. Bug out. World's Fastest Indian. Oh yeah, it's got to be one of my favorite movies. I love it. It's just great. We got a new Power Wagon at my Ram dealer, had the death wobble, and we had to send it back to Ram. It is hilarious though. Anyone going that to be unstable at that point? Yeah, anybody that does 40 on a scooter is unstable. And we're not talking about the scooter being unstable. It's me. It's the rider. It's the loose nut at the wheel. They found the trouble. Found the trouble. I got a loose nut at the wheel. We have a 2021 2606 and pulls very good with a Toyota Tundra. The good years are Yeah. Yeah. Our, the tire wears just, I don't know. Personally, I'm going to say it. The Michelin LTX Defender, the MS2s, I think they are now. Awesome tires. They, I've never found a better tire. That's pretty much all I can say about it. They're just awesome. I'd like some other tires to do real well, like the ones we have on now. They did warranty our tires though.
2 of them.
2 of our tires when we were out in North Dakota. They gave us two new Goodyears and said, well, they should be prorated. You know, at that point we had, I don't know how many thousands of miles on them, but
17.
yeah, 17,000 miles. They said, well, they should be prorated, but I'll tell you what, we'll take care of the difference. Here you go. Have a nice day. Sign here. It was like $500 and some, and about that was it. We were
And
done.
when we got to Ohio, we got
Yeah,
2.
we
the front
ordered them.
ones.
Yeah, we ordered different at the Ford dealer. What's that? East Coast, USA, Mount Dora, Florida. What's that?
The tsunami from that volcano.
There's a tsunami?
Possible from that La Palma.
Yeah, that La Palma. It's been going on forever.
Yeah, right. Said that the scientists are. It's down here. She said.
When is that happening?
Right here.
The scientists are reporting movement of the shelf from the volcano blast, reporting a high chance of East Coast tsunami.
I know. It's right where we're gonna be.
Really?
We're gonna have to keep an eye on that.
Where are we going to be at again? Oh, that's a back end site. Well, I can't stay hooked up then. I guess we could hook up in case we're East Coast USA. What's Mount Dora, Florida? What's from? Is it? Where's that at? Is they saying that's like the target area, or are they saying from a certain point to a certain point? I don't know. I never heard of that. Better get fuel for the generator.
Yeah.
Better fill up the gas tank of the truck. We were only going an hour and a half. I told her, I said, I don't need gas. I got plenty of gas in there. But now maybe I need to fill up the generator and the truck.
Yeah. It's...
Wow. You think it's for the weight, or you carry just bad manufacturing? Well, there's a lot of, I have a lot of rear axle weight. It's still within limits, but I do have a lot of rear axle weight. And I think my driving has a lot to, because, I mean, honestly, if you guys, when we have our windows down and I'm accelerating to get, out of places and stuff, you can hear the tires back there. They're really, you would think with all that stuff we have in the back of the truck and a, 1,000-pound tongue weight or something, the tires want to be trying to break loose, but, they're doing their darndest trying to, that's for sure. It's some hard acceleration. Carlisle. I think that I think that when we start, if we need to get trailer tires for this, after a certain point, if we get into where we need to replace the tires, let's just say that. Well, I'd probably just, because at some point we'll probably get rid of the trailer. I'd probably just put, Goodyear Endurance on there again. If we were in another trailer and we see premature wear of the tires or anything on the trailer, I might start doing some research, making some calls, and seeing about putting Michelin Defenders 10-ply on the trailer, because there's, the main reason you don't want to use, for the most part, especially in the old days, the main reason you don't want to put automotive tires on RVs is because the automotive tires very rarely see the kind of side scrub action that the trailers see when you turn real tight. You're turning really tight. You have somebody, if you don't know, being a driver of the vehicle, have somebody turn your truck for you or complete the turn for you in a parking lot and stand out and listen to your tires back there and the noises that they're making trying to turn and scrub each other. That's why trailer tires have a higher load capacity when they are a single axle versus a dual axle. Yeah. So if you ever look, you would think it's counterintuitive, but a tire on a trailer, like our trailer tires, if you go back and look, or you look up their specs, it says that they can handle, let's say, 1,780 pounds. I'm sorry, 2,200 pounds if it's a single axle trailer. But if you have a dual axle trailer, they knock that number down to like 1,800. And it all has to do with the fact that those two axles, when you're turning corners, one of them's just scrubbing the crap out of the other one. And I mean, it really affects the tires. However, if you get a 10-ply sidewall, that means those tires technically should be able to handle that, automotive wise. Now, I know that somebody does that now, right? Long honeymoon. I think they have Michelin LTX MS tires on their Airstream. They went to automotive tires on there. I don't know, what scale those tires become a problem. I don't know, how heavy it becomes. I would have to talk to people. That's all I'm saying before we did it. But I would love to put up, again, those Michelins, I just said it, they are by far, the first set we got, I told her, I said, I'm not going to dick around with any kind of goofy tire or anything. I'm buying these Michelins. I'm going to spend the money. And she was like, that is crazy. That's a lot of money for it. I think we paid like $800 to put tires on a truck I paid $2,400 for. I mean, that's a lot of money. And those tires were on that truck the day we sold it. It had been, except for one, because we got in an accident. A lady T-boned our truck, and I rebuilt it. But those tires, all the other tires, the original tires, they were great tires. They were awesome tires. So that's when we got our 97 F-250. I put the same tires on there. Had no problem spending the money at that point. Those tires looked almost like, I bet you if we hunted down that truck now, I bet you those tires are still on there. Because that guy did not drive. He drove easy. I bet you they're still on there, unless he ran over something at a construction site or something.
You talking the one that's
or blue and white
primer?
No,
oh,
the blue and
okay.
white one. Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And our son, like I said, his is awesome. So we've been running those Michelins for a long time, and they're just awesome tires. So quiet compared to what we got. As soon as we started driving the truck, I told her, I said, "Oh my God, this noise!" Don't get me wrong, it's not, Mickey Thompson Baja with side biters or anything on them or anything. It's not that kind of noise, but it's not a nice, quiet Michelin noise by no means. And I'm sure the gas mileage would get better too if we had them, because that truck's got aggressive tread. That's a lot of drag on the road. Yeah. They don't make Michelin tires in my small size 205, 75, 14.
We have 15s, don't we?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. I think he's right. I don't think that an automotive tire in 14 is.
Don't have a lot of choices.
Yeah. Enjoying the live show. Got on late, but stay safe. Cool. Awesome. Great. I looked it up, and Mount Dora is northwest of Orlando.
Yes.
Wait, what's Mount Dora?
That's where her brother lives, talking about that tsunami.
Oh. I have all-terrain truck tires on my travel trailer. Cool. Awesome. Wonder if they could come up with a steerable axle like trailers. Yeah. What they need is to have a wheel that comes down in the back that you could motorize the thing sideways. That'd be awesome. They actually have I think it's an Australian company. You ever see those things, guys? That's really cool. I haven't seen it on anything big as our trailer, but like our old travel trailer, they have they have something that on the tongue. There's a wheel there's a wheel on the front instead of having a jack pad. There's a wheel, and then there's these motors that lower down on motors of themselves on some kind of track. They ying, 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 come down, and then they engage the tires, and they have these corrugated drive wheels on them. It's on YouTube. You can watch that video. But it has these corrugated wheels, these rollers that go up against the tires and push up against the tires. And then you stand back with your remote control and you drive your trailer to your spot that you need to back it into or whatever. And it basically, if you need it to turn left real sharp, it rolls one tire one way and the other tire the other way, and it's like a tank. It's like on tracks. It's like, man, this thing's really good. I told her, I said, that'd be awesome. All except for the fact that those rollers are always mounted on the trailer. Of course, they're a little bit more weight. You'd have to worry about all the mechanisms involved there, keeping them lubricated. Plus, they're up against dirty tires. What happens when the tire's in mud? How is that going to roll? And will it roll? And how much pressure does it have to put on the tire? I mean, there's always situations that maybe it don't necessarily work exactly the way it's supposed to. But I thought it was cool. And that was years ago we looked into that because of our gravel driveway at our house. I told her, I said, man, you would think that they would make something that I could just walk the trailer into our spot because we were pulling off the road. We were pulling into the yard. How many of you guys remember? Comment if you remember that. Whenever we brought the Terry camper back from Virginia Beach with the old truck, and I tore the crap out of the yard trying to back it in its spot. And it was tore up so much we ended up taking it to storage and putting it in storage for the winter.
Just talked about that today with somebody.
But if we would have had that system that we just talked about, I could have pulled in the driveway, unhooked at the top of the driveway, pulled the truck off and just drove the trailer into its spot. I could have backed it into its spot.
Remote parking is cheating, taking away from all great fights
you can have, right? Her and I do pretty good, but man, I'll tell you what, old guys and their wives, man, some of the stuff. Now, damn it, I told you. I mean, he's screaming and yelling at. It's like, oh my God, some of these nice old ladies, and these guys are out just coming out of their trucks just screaming and yelling at them.
I will not help if somebody else is helping him.
Yeah.
I will no longer do that.
Yeah. And listen, the other thing that I'm going to tell you over and over again, there's no reason to talk loud.
Yeah.
People don't even know what our voice. Listen, people don't even know what our voices sound like when we are backing in a campsite.
As long as we can, you got to be able to see each other.
Right, and we do have radios if we're doing something kind of weird or there's some tight situations. We bought some $20 handheld radios off of Amazon. You have those in the?
I think so.
You have them in our store?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyways, they're illegal. They're supposed to be because they go like 7 miles or something. They go a long ways. We
don't have full-blown conversations.
Yeah, we don't. We just turn it on. If I don't hear anybody talking, like a police or something on there, we use them just as walkie-talkies. But anyways, I know all the ham guys get all upset whenever I say that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just talking on them just to do this little short backup thing. We hardly use them. However, I always say this. We've talked about in the past that if I had to go up to some of these people and how loud they are, they're just loud. I could have walked up to at least 5 or 6 people that we've camped around, and I could say, "Who's Jenny?" I'm sure the answer would be, "That's my daughter. She lives wherever." And who's Bill? "Oh, that's her husband." And which dog is Luann? "Oh, that dog is Luann." And why is your wife, she cook spaghetti really well? I could have said that to them, and I'm sure they would be dumbfounded about how I know all that stuff. It's because they talk so freaking loud. I know their names. I know their names. I know their kids' names. I know where they're at. I know where they've been. I know where they're going to. I know their business. I know the stuff that they're on. Because they're just loud people. Don't get me wrong. There's just those type of people. This isn't the kind of setting to do that. So anyways, getting back to the whole backing up and that, we're I mean, she will walk the whole length of the RV to come up and tell me what I need to hear without screaming it. If I can't see what she's doing, or she wants to tell me something and she didn't bring the radio with her, she'll come up and she'll say, "Hey, listen, you're kind of close back here. You may want to come back and look at it." And I'll go walk back because there's no sense in it. There really isn't. So that's topics. I forgot. We forgot about talking about those topics.
Well, it's 9 o'clock, so you better get your topics
Oh, wing ding,
rolling.
ling ding.
I'm hungry.
Laptop
so.
screen is at it. Looks bigger than my TV. This? Oh no, this is little one. My other, that one over there is 17 inch. This isn't 17, is it?
This is a pretty big one.
Oh, it's not 17.
I'm pretty sure they're the same.
No way. That one's 17.
You sure that's just 17?
Oh, maybe that's 19. I don't remember. This one's a littler one. This is the one I used to edit videos on, and it started getting slow, so I had to get that big monster over there. I don't think you guys can see it. It's a big... Oh, no, that's a 17. Because it's a Predator 17X.
You talked about speeding and dogs barking.
You know, I talked about dogs barking, but listen, guys, spread the word. Keep on saying it to everybody you know. Do it yourselves. When you pull into a campground and you're towing or you're not towing, don't make a difference. Take your truck, throw it in low gear. Whatever you're driving, just put it in low gear. And watch how hard it is for you to get over 10 miles an hour. You could get over 5, but watch how hard it is to get over 10 without you knowing it. And when you let off the gas, it'll slow down on you. I mean, we see people that go through these parking lots, and I mean, they are going first gear, second gear, in second gear, going through the parking lot. And they're thinking, well, I got my foot on the brake. It doesn't make a difference. 10 is really slow if you look down at your speedometer. I think there should be signs in all these parks that say, look at your speedometer, look down. What are you doing? What's your speed? We got a lot of, I just amazed about watching kids on their bikes, and the parents are walking behind them and they're doing their own thing. And then all of a sudden, about 5 minutes later, you see a Jeep come through or a truck come through, and they are flying. I don't know what the rush is. I mean, if you're on vacation, if you're full timing, or if you're camping or whatever, part of that whole experience should be you relaxing, slowing down, and enjoying whatever's going on. I'm sure people have got reasons to go places, but wow, every place we go, it's amazing. That's just like what we were talking with Kevin. Kevin, he does some work keeping speeders at bay, and he was saying it's amazing how many people just don't know what 10 miles an hour is. They just don't. They just do over 10. It's funny. It's just really, really funny. So please get over 10 in low gear. Hold my beer. Get out and look. Yeah, oh yeah, we get out and look a lot. And then I have Heidi. We have what you guys should know, if you have slides. Everybody, how many of you? Let's say, I'll set you up here, and you guys will probably. You guys are all of our. We got pretty smart viewers. I'll have to say that. That's for sure. How many viewers on here have slides on your vehicles, whatever it is? How many of you have slides? Y'all enjoying the area? Yeah, we are. We do like the area. Yes, 3. I have 1. Okay, how many of you have a cheater stick that you keep? So you know how far away you need to be from the power pedestal, a tree, whatever. How many of you have a stick that's marked or the right length or something, so you know when you stop your RV, you can put your slide out and not hit it? There's a lot of people that don't. I was just curious how many people do. I use my arm. Yeah, if you don't, that's kind of something. That's the reason I brought it up. I don't, but I'll be making one now. Great idea. It's awesome. If you get that stick, I'm telling you, it is so great. You just pull up. We have it marked. She knows. she'll hold it up for me when we're backing up, and I can see, okay, I can get over it a little bit more. It's so much, it's just makes it so much nicer. So yeah, definitely we just have a 1x2, just a 1x2 hardwood stick, and it's a little bit longer than the slide, but it's marked, so we can see what we need to do, how far we can go. And the other thing you can do is lay it on the ground, and you can kind of eyeball when you're backing up your vehicle to where it needs to be with it laying on the ground. So she could be on the other side looking at something. I can be looking at her and my mirror and seeing where I need to be with that stick. Yeah, it's the cheater stick's awesome. 2-foot slide. I don't think you have to worry about that one. Bill says, "Smart viewers, I'll leave now." I don't know, Bill. You had a good idea. Well, I mean, I'm sure you saw it on YouTube from somebody else, but that's how it all works. Just because it's knowledge you got elsewhere doesn't mean it's not your knowledge to share. But we've seen, that's what we got, our, our totes for our totes for our electric bikes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd seen that you had done it. And I'm like, well, I seen somebody else do. I don't know what that guy was doing. That he cut the top out and still kept the top. We just tossed the tops. But yeah, we put that. That was a good idea. After I seen you load it, I'm like, I don't know. Seems like it's pretty easy to do. Like slide it in and out, and I don't have to worry about it falling over or anything inside there. Yep. The stick is nice. Just sometimes the power cover opens towards the trailer. Sometimes the back. Speeding is very common between the Toronto area and most vacation destinations. I just don't get it. Back again. Hi, Mike and Eddie. I don't get the speed. I just don't get it. I mean, we go so slow. Okay, there has been times that we've gone so slow that when I hit the speed bump, I've rocked backwards. I haven't made the speed bump because I'm just crawling. And I get up and I was like, oh, let's go back again. We try to avoid that because that's embarrassing. Sure, everybody's sitting there going, no, the Ford can't make the bump. What's your favorite invention or tool you use while on the road now? Why do Airstream doors open backwards? Have no clue. Never even really paid attention, to tell you the truth. I mean, they lock pretty good. I don't think that they make a difference. Do you have any patents? No, I don't.
Do you even have anything that you made?
I've had stuff that I've made, but we don't. I mean, some of this. I mean, like the generator boxes. I mean, I made those. I figured out the cooling and everything and what fits and all that.
Right. You didn't actually make the box, though.
Yeah, but I made the.
You just put the vents in there.
Yeah, I had to figure out the vents and. You go slow till you hit the road, and then you're chirping. Yes, you're right about that. Once I hit the road, that's a whole nother story. Do we have anything that trying to think of anything specifically that... Invention or tool you use while on the road now?
Nothing really.
Yeah.
Just that stick.
And tool-wise, my power drill, that's about it. That's not really...
It's not an invention.
It's a tool.
It's definitely a need.
It's a tool. Yeah, we definitely use it. Make sure if you get a drill or something like that, whenever you're... A lot of you guys, if you decide... Because we have powered stabilizers, but if you have the stabilizers you put down with your drill, make sure a lot of people use impacts, and there's some washers and things that are limiters on those screws so they don't unscrew all the way or go into... Just make sure you don't... We hear some people that they run their jacks down, and I'm like, wow. I mean, that impact, it's a hammer. It's a little hammer that's hammering that and twisting it, and it'll break welds if you don't watch it. It'll screw those things up. Drills. I mean, you can do drills. Oh, my transmitter's starting to run out of power. Wow, I'm down to 1 bar. Look at all that talking I did. I almost ran it out. We didn't charge them last time. That's why.
You could borrow mine. Mine's probably full.
You should. My husband should as well. He's a Dracula trees too. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I never really thought about it. I tell you what, I did come up with the idea of an invention that would have made us millions, and it's because whenever I was a kid, I can't remember how many. I think it was 12. I've been to like 12 or 13 different schools. We moved around all over Florida. Then we moved to Ohio. We moved all over, and then my parents got divorced, and then we moved around a bunch of times there. Anyway, so I was in a lot of different schools, and we moved a lot. And at some point, when her and I first got to moving into our first place, yeah, I mean, I had already thought about it when my parents had moved, and that was pods. I thought, why don't they have something that acts as storage too, to where you can load it up, it can go someplace, and it can just sit as long as it's all sealed off and weatherproof and that it can sit, and that would be your storage. And then when it's time, because we would always like get a storage unit. We'd have to load furniture up that won't fit into the new apartment that we're at. This is when we were kids and we were growing up, and then or we had to get rid of it. And then whenever we got to our new place, we'd have to go out and unload what would fit and what wouldn't fit from the storage unit. And it was just this big thing. And I thought, why don't they have a storage unit that just is a trailer too? That somehow it's a trailer. Anyways, pods. Yeah. Heidi has a tendency to do that occasionally. We have those slam latches on our pass-through storage up front. I do it too. I can't say. I won't do it early in the morning though.
I never do it early in the morning or late at night.
Right.
Maybe during the day. It depends on if my hands are full or not.
Yeah, I mean, just.
I don't purposely do it.
Yeah. Good night. Must have been a good drinker. You're always tinkering with things. Just figured it out. You had something you improved or made to go make it.
He doesn't tinker much anymore.
Yeah, not as much as I used to. But yeah, I fabricate a lot of stuff. Bearing drivers for moped seals on engines, and just lots of little stuff. But I can't think of anything that I spent a lot. The rocket stove. I did that rocket stove. I did a video on that on my other channel. That was like one of the very first videos that I talked on a video. Believe it or not, I did some videos I didn't talk. That was on the other channel. I put together a rocket stove, and I talked about how I built it, and I actually made it one of the first ones on YouTube that would self-feed pellets on itself. You'd fill up the hopper with pellets, and that thing, as they burned, they would superheat, and they would start burning, and then they would fall, and whatever was in the hopper would then follow. And that was a big deal when those rocket stoves. It's a rocket mass heater basically, but it's a rocket stove, and it uses, of course, gravity and the heat coming out of a chimney to draw even more air, fresh air in underneath the fire. It burns even hotter. I mean, it was cool. It was a cool thing. So yeah, go check out Fox Boss 9, or just type in Fox Boss 9 rocket stove. It should come up. Mm-hmm. It should just come up if you just type in a search of Fox Boss 9, all Fox Boss number 9, and then rocket stove.
And look at all the other ones after you watch his from other countries.
Yeah.
The sophisticated ones
Oh
with the
my.
mud, and they're so cool.
Those are rocket mass heaters.
Yeah, those are so cool.
And it works.
They work the same way.
Yeah, it's heating a mass up, and then using that heat to keep. I mean, it's just these third world countries that have, they're cooking with coal inside their hut, and they're all dying and coughing of all these fumes and that, or they don't have fuel. And yet these rocket stoves, if you build them right, it takes just a hand. I mean, the tiniest, you can ask Heidi, is like firsthand. Once I got it built, and I had to re-engineer it 20,000 different ways. But when I got it just right, you could just take the smallest handful of sticks and put them in there, and you could boil water with just some twigs because of the way that it burned. It was really cool. Yeah, shipping containers, right. Why you guys are still here. Outstanding. We're actually getting ready to, yeah, like Heidi says, we're actually going to get off here. I promised Heidi that we wouldn't go past the time that we already went past 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
And she's hungry. Oh, yeah, we haven't eaten since 2.
No, 2. Try like noon?
Noon.
12:30.
Oh, yeah, noon. Yeah, we can't eat too late. Getting to be old people. George and I have to say goodnight. See ya, George and Amy. And yep, we'll see you in Orlando. I think we're gonna. I don't know where.
December.
I don't know when where we're gonna stay in Orlando. At what part of the park yet? Yeah. I've got mixed feelings about it. Kind of want to do the new section because we already did it and it was easy. Kind of want to do that other section because it was wooded and it was different. Yeah. I don't know. Then I want to stay away from the kid section though. Woo. Didn't like that. Picked up dinner on the way home. That's good.
Don't blame you.
What do you think of the WineGuard 360 gateway router for internet? Our grand design reflection came with a WineGuard 360. I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah.
Don't have any idea about it. I know that there's some good stuff out there. But I don't know that one. In Canada, we had the Red Green show. Oh, yeah, Red Green. I just watched him. He made the wood chipper out of a dryer. He took his axle and he took his, he says, well, I'm going to cut holes in it. He goes, I'm going to cut some holes in here with my, he had a, what are those things called? Jackhammer. He had a mini jackhammer. He goes, I want to cut the holes, the slots in here with the mini jackhammer. He goes, now you don't need this tool. He says, but I want to use it. I like it. Something like that. And anyways, he does all this, and then he was showing how he's gonna grind his Christmas trees. He goes, you can put your Christmas tree out in the yard and it'll sit there for months. They ain't gonna pick it up, so you might as well figure out a way to recycle it. And he was talking about his wood chipper. He made a wood chipper out of a dryer. We'll be staying in Bill Frederick Park in March. Where is that at? Bill Frederick State Park. He's my level. Me too. I have a pumpkin bagel waiting for me. That sounds good. Good night, John. He's my level. It's a 3-foot. Thanks again for all the videos I've broke. Sure thing. Absolutely. Stop talking about feed your poor wife. Yeah, we will. So, I don't know when our next video will come out. I don't have any more footage of this park. I think the next video will be us obviously departing this park, moving into the next park, giving you an overview of that. And my transmitter's completely dead, so you guys aren't hearing me through my microphone. You're hearing me through her microphone. But yeah, we'll pick this up on our next video. And I don't know. We'll have a live chat again eventually. We enjoy the live chats. I don't want to have
too many live chats, though, because then we won't have anything to talk about on our videos.
Red Jaguar says he's leaving them wanting for more. They're just wondering what's he doing.
Oh, jeez.
That's what you do. That's what you do.
Well, that's awesome.
All right, guys. That's it. How do you close it out?
As always, we hope to see you out here. Bye.
Bye.